They're like quality options. Yay, I have quality options. um, Didn't mean to do that. That's okay. I will not have Discord open very often.
Let Chrysanthemum know that you want to collaborate.
Yeah. Oh no. It's a little weird because you like have to have the window open in order for it to like capture. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Stop doing.
Oh, hi Deadly. I am not wearing my gamer wrist brace because we're not gaming.
But we're doing similar things. Okay,
My
that should work.
knitting wrist brace.
True. Hi, yes.
Yes.
Knitting wrist brace, knitting wrist. But where are we? I think I might be knitting during this because I have my project right in front of me and it's very tempting.
I could knit, but I'm bad at like I don't know. I'm like I have a sock on magic loop, so I would have to be like, yanking
Yeah,
my
yeah.
needles around and stuff. I
I will
don't have anything
just
that's just like
apply
in
some
the
nail
round.
oil while we're here.
Well, I kind of it's
GG first, CZ. Hello,
easy.
hello. Hope you're doing well. Oh my gosh, this is not knitting related, but CZ and Matcha and I were talking about these like travel neck pillows basically, and
Oh,
we um Matcha recommended like the turtle ones, so I
is that
got
the like it goes like
yeah.
around your face kind of thing?
Not around your face, but kind of like it has like a taller little like side thing so that you can kind of like rest your chin on it. And I am
Mm.
excited to try it out.
Nice.
Um, it's kind of noisy though, so we'll see how it because there's Velcro on it.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
we'll see how it fares on the plane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you're leaving literally like
Really
soon.
soon, yeah.
Yeah. That's so crazy. I
Yeah, it
can't
looks
believe
like
the
a
year
cross
is ending.
between scarf and neck brace. Yeah, I know. How is it December?
I don't know. We've literally had a knitting podcast for a year.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, kind.
I mean,
We've
yeah,
done
like,
every quarter, but we
yeah,
started in March. But we had the idea for a year. So, yes,
yeah.
that's true. Yes, I know, CZ. I watched that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, that was a good
It
video.
was such a good video. And I think I've been getting back into my YouTube arc in that I'm not
Yeah.
just watching knitting podcasts. And so I was like watching Sophia's video about the travel thing, and then I've been watching like Epicurious videos of these chefs like testing out like instant ramen or frozen dumplings, and they have a lot of things
Mm.
like that, and it's really cool because it like they're so knowledgeable about it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, yes.
You have it in Japan for Japan trip in February. Yes, I'm very
Ooh.
excited to. I'll let you know how it goes after this weekend, but my flight is not nearly as long as that. So, hi,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I was like I feel like I've seen the no heat like curl hack where
Yeah,
you like wrap your hair
yeah.
cuz like my hair is like wavy
Hmm.
naturally, but like the back is so much thicker than the front. So the front
Mm,
usually looks straight and like it's a lot harder to like have it maintain a curl.
hmm.
So I always struggle to like style my hair down because it's very inconsistent. So like I feel like the heatless curls maybe could work, but I also know that like the strength and density of like the back of my hair, like it's literally like so like tight. Um
Yeah, I
I don't know if it would
do
be effective.
heatless curls with a sock. Um,
Okay.
which works really well for me. I do kind of want to try the one with the rod. Um, and I also have one of those like octo curl things, but like a dupe off-brand version that I found in some random
Oh.
store in Madrid. But it has like 8 little
Yeah,
thingy things, which
yeah.
I saw some other YouTuber review as well. That didn't quite work for me very well in Madrid,
Oh,
but I haven't tried it since then because socks were
huh.
just working really well for me. But
Yeah.
also the way that I see like all the hack do it, all those hacks, they're always twisting in one direction. But I learned from a YouTube video to like twist, like imagine if this is here, right? To twist like
Mhm.
that, and then take a back section and like kind of twist it
Oh, okay.
opposite, and then like
Yeah, yeah.
alternate that way. So you're not braiding, but you're twisting in opposite directions. And I really like the results that
Yeah,
gives me. But I mean, my hair has to be wet. It doesn't really do much when my hair's not wet.
yeah. That makes like, this is my hair after, like, I used, like a blow the it's like a round brush, but it's a blow dryer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I did that, and not very, like, meticulously,
yeah.
obviously, but, like, it resists the the styling very much.
Oh.
So,
Oh, yeah.
especially in the back.
That makes sense. Yeah, my other, I guess, Q4 update in life
Oh,
is
did you get
I got the air wrap.
yes!
I did not use it this time. I let my hair air dry for the first time since I got the air wrap. The last time I washed my hair just to see, because I was like, is it really actually making a difference? And I
Uh-huh.
do think that blow drying my hair does like make it a little bit more manageable. And then I haven't
Mm,
quite noticed any like differences in like the texture of my hair, so I don't think it's like damaging it or anything like that. Because I wash my hair about every 3 days right now. So I don't know, but I am enjoying it. It's fun to play
that's
around
good.
with and definitely
Yeah.
not necessary, but it's fun.
Nice. We love a little fun, you know? That's cool. Yeah, I don't think I guess all my money has been going to yarn, so I don't think like, other than the Holo Taco, Dark Academia polishes
Ooh,
that I bought, I don't think I really have gotten any, like, beauty products recently.
I have. I'm wearing
Yeah.
new eyeshadow today. It literally arrived in the mail
That's
today.
nice. I've been sitting on a Sephora gift card for, like, a year. Yeah, and I have
Ooh.
not been able to decide, like, well, I just don't wear makeup often enough anymore, like and, I don't know, I'm like, what even are the good brands now? Like,
If you want
I don't
any
know.
Rex,
Yes, please.
let me
I
know.
think I'm looking for a new mascara.
Ooh, okay.
I would like to try a brown one, I think.
It's been very trendy. Yeah, I also thank
Yeah.
you, S. I think I just have like 3 shades on, but I like it. But brown mascara, I actually also just got a new mascara. I hate wearing mascara also, but I really like the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara,
Okay.
and I am pretty sure they have a brown one. That one's really good. It's not waterproof, but I do think that it holds a curl
Mhm.
pretty well and lasts a good time. But also, I've never really had a problem with mascara smudging, but I know that most of the people who review it also have the same opinion.
Interesting.
But then I also just got the Tarte tubing mascara, the Tarte Tartlet in a purple tube because there's two Tartlet mascaras. I got the one in the purple tube
Okay.
because it's a tubing mascara
Yeah.
because I was hoping it would just be like easier to remove or something. It's been also
Yeah.
very comfortable, and I know that one comes in a brown too. So
Okay. Yeah, I used to use a tubing mascara and I liked it. I feel like it was pretty easy to remove.
mhm.
But yeah, usually I do go for waterproof because I have watery eyes and then I have hooded lids.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
the edge of my eyelid like really is very close to the corner
Mm,
of my eye. So I get a lot of like anytime I wear eye makeup that's not waterproof, I get like running down here
mhm.
through the day. So I've always gone for waterproof, but maybe I'll look into some of the Tower 28 reviews and see. So, but yeah, I think that's what it's like. I decided that I would probably use it on mascara like months ago, and then I
Mhm.
just have like not done any research at all. So, yeah.
I will say if you want more bang for your gift card buck, I think Sephora has a 20% off right now for like
That's
anything.
true. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think I did any Black Friday shopping,
Oh
actually. I know.
my gosh. But
I
you did
know.
take advantage of some yarn store sales, right?
Yeah, that's true. I have most of my acquisitions, which are there are quite a few of them, were on sale. So, hi Scorp.
Oh, remember also I do have an acquisition outside of the number that I told you before, but I've already
Mhm.
cast it on. So I only semi, anyway. You
Yeah,
know which
yeah.
one I'm talking about. I score.
Well, should we jump into the
Yes,
knitting?
we should.
Okay. Do you wanna talk about what you're wearing?
Oh yeah, sure. And yours is an FO for this
It
quarter. Mine is
is,
not.
yeah.
This was actually probably an FO in our very first knitting podcast because I finished it at the beginning of this year. This is my Doppio.
Yay.
I knit this in All Explorer Knits, and All Explorer Knits Leave No Trace, which it's not technically an acquisition for me this podcast because I haven't received it yet, but I did order from the latest Leave No
There
Trace.
is yarn in the
Yeah.
mail.
But I believe the base color is like a fingering weight, and I held two of the same color held together, and I think it was one of the tonals from the Iceland Solstice collection last year, but again, it was Leave No Trace. And then I think that the Surrey is probably some prototype or some skein that resembles the colorway Flock on Surrey, is my guess. But I love it. I think I knit like the third size. I remember like spending an entire day trying to decide what size to knit. And I knit the
Mhm.
bigger size of the two I was debating between, which I think was size 3. And I love it. It's great. I will
It's so
say
good.
I live in a townhouse and I did a little bit of like just one load of laundry today, and my room's on the third floor and the laundry machine's on the first floor, and I had to change out of this because I was
Oh,
definitely
it was
a
too
little
warm.
warm walking up and down the
Yeah.
stairs. But just sitting here, I'm a good temperature.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I mean, this is my first finished object. Well, not chronologically, but like I'm wearing it. It's my only garment that I finished in the last 3 months. This is the PhD vest by Juliette, I think Limousin. She has a podcast, Knits with Juliette. And it's really good. She's a PhD candidate, I think, in Cambridge. So she made the PhD vest. Um,
Oh, I was
I
wondering
knit
where the name came from. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, because she styles it a lot with, like, a big button up, um, which I still need to try, but, I do really like it just, like, over a t-shirt, and
Mhm.
that's kind of how I, like, envisioned wearing it when I was making it, but, I made size E, and I used West Yorkshire Spinners Pure DK in the color Lily Pad. So this is 100% Falkland Island wool. It is so soft. Like it's just like so nice. And yeah, I'm like really happy with how this turned out. I can like stand up and give you a little
Yes.
view.
Yay! Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks so
So
good.
so if you can hear me, the armholes are quite deep.
Hmm.
Like I'll show you again.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I mentioned I knit the size E. For my like recommended size, based on my measurements would have been one size bigger. So I think this I have like the recommended ease is like something like 18 to 20 centimeters, which is like 8 inches. It's like a lot of ease. I think
Hmm.
it might be more than that, like 8 to 10 inches or something.
It's
And
okay.
then hi Dracmatic. I made a sweater vest.
Yeah. First finished object.
Yeah. Um, so this has let's see, 100, so I think I ended up with 6 inches, so, like, 15 centimeters of ease. Um, and yeah, the armholes are quite deep. Um, so, like, it's a lot of ease still, and I, like, went down a size, if like and the armholes are still deep. So I think if I had knit, like, my actual size, it would be, like, too big.
Mhm.
Because I didn't wanna, like, personally, I don't really like when, like, the sweater vest is, like, so oversized that it sort of goes down and
Mhm.
kinda looks like a cap sleeve.
Mhm.
So I'm, like, really happy with where this hits, and then also I think, like, let's try to, like, move my headphones out of the way. I feel like like, I see a lot of sweater vests that, like, sit really weird, like, in the front panel. And I've tried to, like, figure out, like, why I think that is, so I could try to avoid that. Um, and I think it's, like, some combination of, like, armhole depth, row gauge, and then where the V-neck hits relative to the armhole.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I was, like, really happy with I ended up shortening the front panels by 3 centimeters each, so my V-neck is a little higher,
Mhm.
but I really like where this hits, and then I kind of just, like, arbitrarily decided not to shorten the back panel by any amount. So but, like, I it's fine, like, it didn't do anything weird, like, the length oh, sorry, but
No, we can still hear you.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
The length is consistent, like, all the way around, so I think it just, it, like, did what I wanted it to do in the front, but
Mhm.
so I think, like, the armhole maybe like, if I had shortened the back panel, I feel like that would be probably an armhole depth I was more happy with, but, like, because it just, like, it looks if I have, like, a tighter kind of t-shirt, I feel like it's just, like, there's a huge difference between
Mhm.
the
I
arm
like the
situations.
look, but yeah, I
Yeah, I'm
understand.
happy with
Yeah.
it, but I feel like I would be even more happy with it. That's like, I'm not like, "Oh, I hate this," but if
Yeah.
I'm, like, nitpicking, things that
Yeah.
I
If you
could
made
have
it
improved,
again.
like yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so this is just, top down. It has a drop shoulder sort of thing. I'll turn around and I'll show you the little shoulder detail.
Oh, yeah, cute. That's really pretty.
Yeah, so you get, like, that line, and then, it just has 1 by 1 rib for all the finishings and then tubular bind off. So, um, yeah, I think the only other thing is I did lose yarn chicken making this. So I had, I think, 5 balls of this that I got in March of this year. And I didn't I was like, oh, I'll probably make a sweater vest, but I didn't have a pattern in mind. And then I was actually like hunting for a sweater vest pattern. And then this pattern I think came out in like June or something of this year. So like I was looking for this pattern and it like hadn't even released yet. So I was really happy that I found it. And I was like, maybe I'll be okay with like yarn amounts, but I ended up needing to buy another ball. And luckily it was the same dye lot. So and I bought it from like a completely different like
Nice.
retailer. like and I think that they discontinued this color also.
Damn. Well, maybe
so
that makes more
yeah.
sense because then, like, the last dye lot maybe is like what
Yeah,
you got.
maybe. Something like that. So I feel like this, yeah, came together really well. I love it. It's really soft. It fits the way that I wanted it to. And then the length I think is good. I did slightly more ribbing than recommended in the pattern.
I love the amount of ribbing. I know you were like
Yeah.
having some like second guessing with it, but I love it.
Well, because I felt like I needed to balance like visually the top of the vest.
Mhm.
It's, like, hard to, like, I can't move my chair super far, but, like, I feel like yeah, I think it's, like, visually balanced
Yeah,
in terms of, like, the amount of ribbing on the bottom.
it looks good.
So, yeah, thanks. So, yeah, I'm, like, very pleased. And I think I was supposed to do, like, a longer ribbing on the armhole as well,
Mm.
but I did it just to match this. So, like, I think in the pattern, the armhole and the bottom ribbing are the same, and then this ribbing I knit to pattern, but so I shortened this to match this, and then I lengthened the bottom ribbing. So, yeah. So, I'm really happy with this. And this was the yarn I was originally making a different slip over with,
Mhm.
and I'm really glad that I did not end up following through on that, and I made this instead. So, here's to frogging almost finished garments to
To
get
make what
something
you
that
like
you like
better.
instead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's everything about that. So that's yeah, my first finished object and also what I'm wearing.
Cool. I while you were talking about that, I was trying to reread my notes because I was like, I don't really remember what I did on this. But my first, I only have two finished objects for this quarter. And my first one, both of these were done in October also. My first one's my mini mock neck, and it has not been blocked
Cute.
yet, even though it was finished in October. But because it was finished in October, I was like, well, I don't think I'm gonna wear this anytime soon. But I'm
Yeah,
traveling
true,
places that
true.
are like so much warmer. So
Oh,
now I'm like, I think I'm gonna
time to
block it
block.
after this podcast.
Yeah, it's so
Um,
cute.
yeah, so this is my mini mock neck, which is a pattern by Jessie May. And I knitted it in ZZ Textiles Silk Sock, which I think is 80% superwash merino, 20% silk. I think it's an 80/20. And it's in the color like Elbert, something like that. Which was kind of like a one-off color that she did like about a year ago. And it's like it's really cool. It has like a bunch of, I know that like
Wow.
they like don't have purple as listed in the color, but I see purple. I don't know. And then it has
Yeah,
like
I
this
see
like
purple.
gold and like a little bit of blue and like I don't know. I think it's really pretty, and I did not alternate or anything. And I think the variegation and everything turned out really well. I knit this in a size small, and didn't gauge swatch or anything. I basically never gauge swatch for summer patterns or like tanks and stuff because it's just too much effort.
Yeah.
I used my C-knit needles for this one, and I knit Continental, um, specifically. I don't really know why. I think it's because Jessie May has a really loose gauge typically.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay, like C-knit needles normally give me looser gauge, and Continental I knit looser. And I think maybe I like overcompensated a little bit, and I think this is a bigger gauge than it needs. I don't know. It's a little loose on me. Hi,
Yeah.
Con. Thank
Hi,
you for
Con
the
Con.
sub. Yeah, I do think it's a little loose on me, and I'm a little worried it'll get too loose based off of blocking. But
Mm.
if it is more of like a looser tank instead of like a fitted garment, like I think I'm also gonna be okay with that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think my favorite part about the mini mock neck and why I think everyone should make it, especially the fact that it's top down, is this the armhole. It's basically like a slip stitch or like a rib situation. I forgot which one exactly. I think it's rib.
Mhm.
Which you do as you're making the garment, so there's no finishing that you have to do on the armhole, which is so awesome.
That's nice.
And
Yeah.
so really the only finishing that you have to do is picking up the neckline to do the ribbing, which I did before I finished the garment because I used literally one skein. Like the reason why this tail
Nice.
is so long is because it is just simply the end of the skein. um,
Uh, Hi,
Hi
Sid.
Sid. Hope you're doing well. Um, but yeah, I think originally I had wanted to knit this to like 8.5 inches for stockinette or something like that.
Mhm.
But then I was like, oh, I'm running out of yarn. So then I think I did have to frog back. I frogged it back to about 8 inches. So I think the length is 8 inches. And then I just knit the ribbing until I eyeballed the amount of yarn I had left. And I was like, this is probably enough for tubular bind off. I do think I could have done one more round of ribbing with the amount that I have left. But It's okay. I also finished the garment. Like I finished the ribbing while on the bus to the wedding that I went to in October, and I finished it, and then I was like, well, I didn't bring my tapestry needle, so I'm not gonna bind it off here, I guess.
Oh,
And I did
no.
that later. I even did like 2 rounds of double knitting and everything on the bus, and
Wow.
then I was like, sad. There's still like 39 minutes of this bus ride anyway.
Yeah, oh gosh.
But yeah, I will block it and wear it this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, it's cute, I really like it. I feel like probably your Doppio does not have, like, the exact same colors, but, like, on camera, it's, like,
It, like,
sort of
yeah.
gray with, like, colorful speckles and gray with colorful speckles,
Yep.
which
Similar
is a vibe,
vibes.
though. I really like I like that look, so
Yay.
yay. Um, okay, I have finished 2 neck accessories.
Ooh, yes. Okay, I
Um,
do.
so I guess the first one, and this one was almost done last time. It's my Lalu shawl by Sari Nordland. Ugh, oh my gosh, it
It
looks
looks
so
so
good.
good.
Yes. Ugh,
Wow.
yeah. So I finally finished this. It's like a cable lace shawlette, mini shawl. Knit in Knitting for Olive Merino and soft silk mohair held together. This is the color Dusty Petroleum Blue. So it has like a nice halo. It's very soft. Um and I use like almost the entire ball of merino, and then I use like 80% of the ball of soft silk mohair. Um, but I still like I have more because that's more yardage per gram, so I feel like I still have like a bit of mohair. Um, but yeah, I cast this on in March to be like my travel project because I was working on it on my bamboo needles.
Mhm.
And so I brought it on the plane, and yeah, last time I had gotten to, like, probably, like, here or something, but I misdid some cables. So I had to frog, and it actually wasn't that bad. I think once I frogged and everything, it took me, like, 2 evenings to, like, finish it up.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so it really went pretty quickly. I mean, like, once you're decreasing, it's like, you know, like, I should have finished it a lot sooner. Yeah, I haven't really worn this. Yet. I think I'm, like, a little unsure how I wanna style it or, like,
Mhm.
how it would look best. Hi,
Hi,
Thief.
Thief. Thanks for the raid. I'm here with Oat. We're doing our little yarn cast.
Yay.
Q4, last yarn cast of the year, which is wild.
That is
Oh,
wild.
that's your emote. I hope Tetris was good. Amazing.
Mm, that's
Okay,
funny.
wait. The way that you're wearing it right now is really cute, though.
Okay, yeah, this is probably the way that I think I would wear it. Cause so, I guess the only other thing I really have to say about this is, I was looking on Sari Nordland's Instagram because the like Lalu pattern family was like part of one of her advent sales like in the
Mm-hmm.
last week or so. Um and hers looks a lot bigger. Um
Hmm.
so like mine ended up um 39 inches long by 8 inches deep at the widest part.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern dimensions, it should be 49 and a quarter inches long, so 10 more inches, 10, and
Hmm.
then 13 inches wide. Um, so I think it's probably a gauge issue, like, I definitely did not gauge swatch. And when I was gauge swatching for the book club cardigan, I had to go up an entire millimeter, like, on my needles, so I
Mhm.
think probably if I were to, like I could see myself making another one or, like, another one of her tiny shawls or something. I would probably go up a needle size. Um, but so I think with, like, hers, the size gives a little more versatility. Like, mine is not really, like, deep enough where I could like, I feel like it looks a little odd as, like, a like, I don't know, it's, like, doesn't have enough depth to be, like, a cute head wrap. It's
Mhm.
not even centered, but, like, a cute head wrap situation
Yeah,
or
like a
whatever.
makeshift balaclava hood thing.
Yeah, so, I don't know. And then, like, I feel like she will wear it, like, sort of in the like, as a bandana kind of in the front. I feel like I could do that, but I feel like it again, like, yeah, there's, like, a lack of depth. I really
Mhm.
tried to, like, stretch it when I blocked it too, so I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just a gauge issue. Sorry, this is the right side. But, like, maybe. I mean, I don't think this looks bad. I think it just looks small.
Mhm.
So,
I liked it where you tied it in the front. I think that
yeah,
looks really
yeah.
good.
I do like this. So, yeah, that's my Lalu shawl.
Cute. Hello,
I'm happy to have this
Susie
done.
from Late Thief
Well,
Rage. Um, yeah. Wait, how many more FOs did you have again?
2.
Okay, I can just go ahead and talk about mine, and then you can talk about your two in a
Sure.
row. Though
Yep.
mine's just a half finished object because it's a sock,
A
but
single
it's a single sock. Um, yeah. So this is just a 2x2 rib sock. Thank you for the follow. Um, and I am following a pattern because I have the pattern, and I'm using the Thanksgiving sock like bundle in the
Mhm.
ribbed version. And I cast on 44 stitches. And I think I actually did a German twisted cast on for this sock. But when I did start the second sock, and there's about 2 rows of ribbing on it, and I did a long tail cast on, and I was like, oh, this doesn't look the same, but whatever. But yeah, I knit 44 rows on the cuff. I made a 2-inch flap, and it's just a stockinette flap. Oh yeah, because this is a DK weight sock. I'm using
Oh,
Teeny
yeah,
Button, Gideon the Ninth, um, on I think it's like called soft sock or something. I think it's just a 75-25 sock
uh-huh.
base, called Gideon the Ninth, which is so fun. I'm holding it double for this. Um, and then yeah, I don't know, heel flap gusset, heel turn, you pick up the stitches, you just
Yep.
knit, and then the bottom stitches are stockinette, and the top is 2x2 on the foot. Then I just did a normal toe, and hopefully it'll have a bunny.
Yeah, one
um,
day.
one day. And DK socks are supposed to take less time,
Uh-huh.
but because I wasn't really prioritizing working on this, it
Yeah,
kind of took
yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
But I yeah, DK weight socks are pretty speedy. I think once I make this and like wear it and on my feet and stuff, then I'll have to figure out what I want gauge wise because this is on a 3.5 millimeter needle, and I was for the most part using the Addy, like I think it's 10-inch circulars because
Oh,
one needle is longer than the other.
yeah.
I think the needle that I hold in my left hand is the longer one so that you have something to grip. And then I use the shorter one for the working needle. I think is
Oh,
what I do. I've tried it opposite before and it was weird. So
yeah.
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 And then I switched to some random something for the other parts. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Love a 2 by 2 sock. Hi, Rubik's.
Hi,
We're
Rubik's.
doing well. Just talking about knitting with my friend Chris. Um, shall I talk about my next finished object? So this is another neck accessory. Oh, I should pull up my notes. This is the Cargill Cowl by Rebecca Clow, the Creabea. Um, it's just like a cowl, which is like a tube essentially. Um, and it has this like dip stitch motif. So she has like a whole sweater with this pattern as well. And like obviously like she didn't invent it. So there are like other designs, but like the sweater is the Cargill sweater. Um or maybe it's the cardigan. I don't know. But
think it's a
yeah.
sweater.
Oh, yeah. What? It has the same motif on it. This like dip stitch repeat.
Really cute.
Um yeah, I really like how this turned out. So I did this as a test run. Because I'm gonna make another one for my friend. So I knit this with Cashmere Treats Pure Cashmere DK, that I got on sale over the summer, and the color is juniper. It's so soft. It's like really nice. I'm like, this might be like one of my favorite things that I've made. I mean, this also is probably one of my favorite things that I've made, but like this is like really nice. And I can show you how it fits,
Oh, you
or I
could wear that as a little hood.
can try. I could, I guess, yeah. So hers in the
Cute.
like the sample is like very tall. Um and so I didn't gauge swatch. I added some pattern repeats because Rebecca Clow is a notoriously loose knitter
Mhm.
and I am a tighter knitter. So I added, I think, 3 pattern repeats, and then, I just kind of knit until I felt like it was a good length. So and because it's like you're doing, like, ribbing essentially between all the dip stitches, I think it's, like, very small when you're working on it, so I was kind of like I got to a certain point and then I measured it and I was like, "Oh, like it's supposed to have, like, a 25-inch circumference, I think, and mine was, like, 16, and I was
Mm.
like, "Oh god." And I think I had recently finished my Lalu shawl, so I was kinda just like, "This is the perils of, like, not gauge swatching." Um, and, um, yeah, I did a mid-project block. I might have done that before last, actually. And then it blocked out to the correct dimension, so I was like, "Wow, okay." So I kept going, with it, and then for my length, I ended up doing 16 of the pattern repeat, um, because I wanted it a bit shorter. I think I calculated, like, based on the gauge and the pattern and, like, counting in the sample, like, and there were, like, 25, like, of the pattern repeats, so, it's supposed to be, like, pretty tall so you can kind of, like, snuggle into it
Mhm.
a little bit, but mine you can see, like, it's, like, hitting, like, just below my mouth, which I think, like, I can still sort of, like, if I was walking with a coat and my hands in my pockets, like, I can still kind of, like, bundle in
Mhm.
it, but I can't, like, sort of pull it up and have it, like, stay, so which I think that's fine, that's kind of, like, what I wanted 'cause it's, like, I don't know, I like how it sort of sits with not as much fabric, and I think sometimes people, like, sort of tuck in the ribbing, so it's more, like, you just get the dip stitch motif, which I think also is nice,
Mhm.
so yeah, so I'm planning on casting on another one of these soon. Um, I'll show you my acquisition for it later, but total I used 87 grams of DK weight cashmere. Um,
Oh, okay, that's not
yeah,
bad.
yeah, no, yeah, it's really not. I used like half the yarn that I had because I bought 3 skeins,
Mhm.
or I bought everything they had of the DK weight that was on sale. So actually that is a thing. I need to figure out what I want to do with my remaining I guess, like, 87 or 88 grams
Another
or
one?
however much. Yeah. I could make another one. I could make myself, like, a little hat to go with this or mittens. I don't
That'd be
know.
cute.
So, yeah.
I think 80 something grams for DK weight might be
Mhm.
pushing it for at least a double brim hat.
Yeah, yeah,
But mittens I think would be fine.
yeah. So we'll see, because I don't really feel like I have a lot of opportunity to wear mittens.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I was also thinking about maybe like a bralette.
Ooh, or I was gonna say
Oh,
headband.
yeah. Okay, that could be cute. That could be cute. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. But I have to figure out what to do with the rest of my yarn. So, but yeah, I really like. I'm so happy.
It's so cute.
I did have to wait for shorties actually to start
Mm.
it. I had to buy specific short needles. And I'm happy that I did, but I tried to knit this initially on Magic Loop and I was having like terrible laddering.
Mm.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's my Cargill cowl. You
Cute.
did raid me 8 times, ConCon. That's so many
Cute.
times.
I think I I mean, Colette was my top raid, and then I think you were my next raid
Oh
target,
my
and I think it
god.
was like 3. And then I think Matcha was after that, like 2. And that was it. Those were all the stats.
That's so funny. Um, oh, thanks, Rubik's. Ooh, a frozen pizza in the oven. Nice. That
Ooh.
sounds good.
That does sound good. I feel like when I was growing up, my parents used to get pizza a lot more, like frozen pizza that we would use in the oven. But as like an adult who just feeds herself, I don't really ever get a frozen pizza. Ooh, hi Rhino. Thank you for the raid.
Hi, Rhino.
Hope Blooms was good. I am here with Oh, I was like, which direction?
Hello. Oh, on
And
mine, it's the
yeah, yours
opposite.
is this way, mine is this way. Maybe we should have it on the same side eventually.
Yeah.
But we are
That's
doing
fun.
our Q4 knitting podcast, talking about our makes and stuff for the last 3 months. It's gonna be the last one of the year. But yeah, thanks for the raid. Welcome on in, everyone.
Oh,
What's really
that's
going
awesome,
on
Rubik's.
here? Wait, that's so cool. And also, like, bras and bralettes are pretty difficult to make. I feel like in order for it to
Yeah.
like have support, I think like, well, I guess for sewing, I don't know, but at least for knitting, like just making a bralette is
Yeah.
like relatively easy, but then like actually like having the support and stuff that you need in there is
Mhm.
definitely the more difficult part of it.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. So yeah, my last finished object, I made this in like 2 days, maybe 3 days, I don't even know. This is also technically an acquisition, but I made this little baby
I
bear
love
plant.
it.
It's so cute. Uh,
Oh.
oh, that's cool. She's got sewing experience.
Ooh, wait, that's
That's
awesome.
yeah, that's awesome. So this is the Baby Bear Bonnet by Pernille Larson. So it's like the Knitting for Olive pattern. And the pattern is written for fingering weight and a mohair held together. And like I guess if
Mm,
you have mohair left over or something, like sure. But
yeah.
like I was like I don't
For
know.
a baby?
Putting mohair in a baby hat, especially because it's a gift
Yeah.
also. So I was like, I want this to be like very washable and like yeah, like they can throw it in the wash, they can drop it, when they're on a walk or whatever, like I guess if they use it or what. So my friend is due in January. So I have to get this to her soon. So I used Lion Brand Color Theory in the shade Raisin. It's coming up a little like more neutral on the camera. I would say it's like very warm, like kind of a
Mm,
cinnamon stick sort of
mhm.
brown color. But I feel like it's perfect for like the baby bear bonnet. Like
Yeah.
it's a good like bear color. I knit the second size and I used a US 4 needle. Um Yeah, and so I guess despite the fact that this is theoretically it's listed on Ravelry as worsted weight yarn,
Hmm.
and then like the pattern calls for fingering and mohair, but it then says that the gauge is fingering weight for the pattern instead of DK. but then my gauge was 21 stitches by 32 rows, and the pattern gauge is 23 stitches by 34 rows.
Huh.
So, like, somehow with worsted weight yarn, I managed to get, like, a tighter gauge than the pattern, because I had sized up to the second size, um, intending to or, like, thinking that I would make one that was, like, a little larger, because my friend is quite tall, actually, so I was kinda worried if I made, like, the smallest size, like, it maybe would not fit her baby.
Mhm.
So yeah, so this turned out actually on measurement for the size 2, with the thicker yarn, but my tighter gauge,
Mhm.
so I don't know, it worked out somehow. Um, and yeah, so you start in the front, and you have the choice between a moss stitch band here or like a 2 by 2 ribbed band, so I went for moss stitch. So you do this and then you work up to the little ears and then um you leave stitches on hold here and then you start knitting flat across the back. And then you can see I sort of have this middle section. So this is shaped with short rows and
Mm.
decreases. So, it was easy to follow and I like did the short rows correctly on the first try and I was
Nice.
kind of impressed with myself. So I was like, cool, okay. So then you have you get down to here and you're done and then you graft the stitches here together because you have like two sides.
Mhm.
On each of the ears, and then you start the I cord, and then you do your I cord bind off along the bottom, and then you finish your I cord on the other side. So yeah, this took me like 2 evenings to make. Very quick, very cute. I feel like it's like high impact for like low effort. So if any more of my friends have babies, I will probably be making more of these. So yeah.
I want to make one as well. Wait, so what was the makeup of the Lion brand?
It's 100% acrylic.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it'll be very washable,
Mhm.
very baby proof. The only thing I was kind of worried about with like baby safety is like I don't know if like it's dangerous to have strings around babies, but this is a very popular pattern, so I feel like
I
people
think
would have
it's
maybe
fine.
said something.
At least
Yeah,
it's
cuz
better than like buttons.
yeah, yeah. Okay. It'll
Well,
probably
okay, I my friend who has a baby that is like almost a year, I think,
Mhm.
also made a baby bonnet for her baby and it has strings. And she's not worried about it or anything. So I think yeah, I
Okay.
think it's fine.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I also want to make that for my friend's baby now.
Yeah.
It's literally so cute. And as
It
I
it
assume
really
you are
is.
also trying to make it. I think maybe just the gauge. Yeah, I don't know. Because the
Yeah.
recommended you
Who
said was
knows?
fingering and mohair. And I
Yeah.
assume it's the knitting for olive, fingering and
Mhm.
mohair. And that
Yeah,
fingering weight
exactly.
is like a thin one too.
I
So
know, yeah, and then you use a
hmm.
3.5 millimeter needle. So I was like,
Hmm.
"How are you getting a fingering weight?" Like, something the math was not math,
Yeah.
but,
I also
you know.
I think I like heard somewhere like that like the weights listed on Ravelry are all like
Yeah,
inputted
they're
by the
not, like
designer or something.
yeah,
So or
yeah,
if it's not and it's just, I don't know. It's
yeah,
like not always accurate.
yeah,
Um so
yeah.
but it turned
I
out
think
great.
it did, it did. I think if you have problems, it would be very easy to start over, and again, like, this whole thing took me, like, 2 evenings of knitting, so, like, it really was not bad at all. The only thing I will say about the pattern is I was confused because the pattern refers to, like it does this at some other point as well, but it says something about the right I chord, and I was like, "Oh, so, like, right when you're wearing it. So, like, this one." But it's, like, right when you're looking at it, so it's this one, actually, is what the pattern means. So I was like, that was, I guess, I don't know if that's common with like baby knits that they like
Mm.
sort of switch that because usually when all the other things I've made, the right refers to like the right side when you're wearing it. So, um, yeah, that was the only confusing part. But other than that, like I feel like the pattern is like very straightforward, easy to follow, fine, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's my baby bear bonnet.
Cute.
Oh, and I used 38 grams of DK weight. So
Good to
not
know. Good to
bad
know.
for yarn usage.
Yeah, I never know like what yarn to get because like I did get yarn for my friend's baby blanket, which I haven't started. And that's like a cotton something blend.
Okay.
But if I make that beanie, I'm like, oh, like I do have an extra skein of Santa's Garn Double Sunday,
Oh,
but I'm like, it's Double Sunday, so you can't really just throw
yeah.
that in the washer.
Yeah, that's
Um,
hard.
yeah, so I might just get something new because I don't
Yeah.
think I have. I think I have one of those old like that bar like Bernat blanket yarns, but that might be too thick.
Oh, yeah.
But I can look because I think I still
Yeah.
have it. But besides that, I don't think I really have anything that's like super baby appropriate. At least like in a smaller quantity.
Mhm.
So I'll have to do some thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. You could also maybe like marl too, like
Hmm.
superwash yarn.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Maybe that would work.
That'd be
Yeah.
cute.
But yeah, I do recommend it. I think it's a good pack. And it's like super popular also. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, let me see. 3,000 projects on
Nice.
Ravelry. So, yeah, it is quite popular. But yeah, that's all my finish up.
Cute. Okay. Continue with the sport weight. Yeah, I think it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. It'll probably be fine. And again, like I feel like if it doesn't work, it's very quick to make. So like if you're like, "Oh, this is turning out really small," frog it, cast on again, bigger size,
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yay.
Do you want to do a whip?
Sure. I have three webs. Oh, we were gonna talk about our Ghost Whisperers together.
We could do
Um,
that first.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna do Ghost Whisperer first.
Okay.
So this was something that we casted on. I think, yeah, I did talk about it in our last podcast because I casted it on October 1st. October
Yeah.
1st, and I know our last podcast was October 4th, but we
Yeah.
do not have any footage of it. It's a miss. It's in the void. It
It's
never
gone.
happened. No, I'm kidding.
Gone with the wind. Yeah.
Um, but yes, I know I talked about it there, but it's not done. But it's in a state for
It
sure.
looks so good.
um,
Oh my
yeah, I
gosh.
basically did the neckline and then I put it away and I haven't worked on it. It's missing sleeves.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but this is my Ghost Whisperer, and I'm knitting a size small using the Scranton Stitcher mohair in Groovy Kind of Love. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Here it is. I knit it mostly to pattern except for the lengths. I definitely extended the body um
Okay.
by I think I knit the body to 9.5 inches. So I extended it by 2 inches. And then I did also extend, so this is knitted bottom up.
Mhm.
And I did also extend like the back and the front from the armpits, but that wasn't intentional. It was just because I kept knitting on the back, and then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna
Oh.
frog because I'm like 0.25 inches over.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. And then I did do the I-cord neckline, held double, like it asks you to. And I don't know if I'm gonna, because you in the pattern you have a choice of a ribbed cuff on the sleeve or an I-cord cuff. And I believe I did I-cord when I made this the first time, which was I made it as a gift, so I don't have it. Um, I think I did I-cord last time, and I was looking at the Ravelry to see if I wanted to do ribbed, but I think I'm gonna stick with I-cord because I think I like the look. It looks more like a bell sleeve kind of thing. Or
Mm.
maybe I did rib. I can literally check. Um
If only there was some
Okay,
way.
never mind. I did the ribbed cuff. That now that when I said
Oh.
the bell sleeve thing, because I think that when you do the I-cord, it doesn't cinch in as much.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
But
I hadn't
yeah,
considered.
eventually I'll pick up the sleeves.
Yeah, no, it looks so good. I mean, I almost feel like you could just wear it like that,
Yeah,
but
I do think it's cute as a tank.
yeah. No,
Yes,
yeah, I love that
bright
color.
purple. Yay.
Yeah, I had some technical difficulties casting mine on.
Oh yeah.
But we got there. So I cast on initially on October 1st as we were planning. Um, and I did a German twisted cast on. And I think it was way too tight. So it was really, really hard to work on. So I have recast on with a provisional cast on. So this will not be part of the finished garment, but this is looking a lot redder. It's like
Mm.
a very dark purpley
Ooh,
black-ish.
okay.
Um and this is from Junie and C.
Oh right.
That I got at Flock in 2023. Um and yeah, I'm like a few inches into the body. It's bottom up, as Chris said. And I'm making the size medium. But yeah, I haven't like tried it on yet, but I feel more confident that this will like fit over my shoulders and stuff. So, um, yeah, but I don't know. I was kind of telling myself, you know, just do like 8 rows a week and then I could have the body done in a month. But gift knitting has kind of taken over, which will be a theme. So, yeah, I could have made a lot more progress on this, so yeah. But that is my ghost whisperer, which, one
Cute.
day it will be a shirt. One day.
That reminds me that I was going to mention this again because our last podcast is lost in the void. But I also did have cast on issues, and I know what Oat did with the provisional. Um, is because a lot of people suggested that in Ravelry.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, I did also have to redo my bind off, and I originally started with German Twisted because I was like, oh, it's loose,
Yeah. It's
but it
stretchy.
sucks to
It
unravel because
really
it's
sucks.
really twisty. So I would not recommend doing German twisted cast on ever if you are working with like a single strand fluffy yarn that you might have to frog. Long
I
tail is easier to
agree.
frog.
Yeah.
And so the first time that I cast it on, because so my technique is normally keeping it loose, but then also using an extra needle.
Hmm.
So this is knit with 6.5 millimeters. I'm using the pattern size. And I added an extra 3.5 millimeter needle, and that's when I did my first cast on. Too tight, undid it. So then I redid it with long tail, and then I did the 6.5 with a 5 millimeter and kept it like even extra loose. And it works, but I do think it could be even stretchier.
Yeah.
So I feel like the provisional cast on is probably going to be really smart because I think you can make that a bind off stretchier than a cast on. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, if you like decide you don't like the length or something later, you can just really easily add some length. Hi,
Hi,
Kuro.
Kuro.
So I looked through a bunch of projects in Ravelry, which I feel like I always end up doing that like after I've started a project. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to do that more like before I start a project so I can like be prepared. Um But yeah, okay. I have 5 other whips.
Yeah, you go. I too. But they're both
um,
sweaters.
oh, okay. Um, okay. I will start with my longest standing whip, which actually I did make progress on this. This is my stripe hype
Oh
sweater.
yes. Wait, it looks good.
Yeah. This is a pattern by Veronica Lindbergh. Um, for Kutavakika. So, sorry, I'm trying to get it all shown here. You can see, so I'm like almost done with the body. I did the collar, and then I have started asleep. So I originally cast this on in like October of 2023.
Mm.
Um, and then I was having a lot of problems because this is a drop shoulder. So you knit the back panel, you knit the front panels, you join in the round, and then you knit in the round from there on the body. So for the top, like for the yoke, you're knitting flat. And my tension flat, this was the first garment I ever also tried to make, which I should add. So a lot of the problems on this, I think, were due to just like inexperience. Um, but I have heard other people have similar like row gauge issues. So my issue was that the
Sorry.
stripes the stripes at the top were longer than the stripes like down the body, but you can see now like you really cannot tell a difference between the stripes.
Hmm.
They all look nice and consistent, so that's good. And then I did the collar, which is twisted rib with a tubular bind off.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh,
The
thank you.
twisted
Oh my
rib? Wait,
gosh.
I love that.
Yeah, so the reason I haven't finished the body yet, is partially because I think I'm playing yarn chicken,
Mm.
unfortunately, and because so I just did my last like contrast color stripe. So I have one more main color stripe, and then the pattern calls for 10 centimeters of twisted rib for the for the hem. And I'm like, I'm not ready. I can't. So, well, I'll get there when I get there on that. But I should also mention I'm using Rowan Soft Yak DK. 10 centimeters is like 4 inches of twisted rib. So it's like a decent of twisted rib. It's just a little harder on the hands. It goes slower. So yeah. Rowan Soft Yak DK in I believe it's like beach and then driftwood is the darker color. Or cream. I don't remember. It's either cream or beach and then driftwood. Um, and let's see, anything else? Yeah, I am very concerned. I don't think ribbed hems are usually that long. So like the hem on my sweater vest is 7 centimeters, and that's
Mm.
just like one by one rib. Um,
Yeah, I think it's really like 2.5 to 3 inches is a
yeah,
typical one. I know that the champagne cardigan is either 4 or 5 inches, and that's definitely
yeah,
pretty long.
yeah. So, I mean, it can
Yeah.
be like a nice design feature, I think, but it is a lot to do. Like, I do like how it looks, but I will be, it'll just take some time. I forgot to mention I did all of the ribbing on this inside out. Like, I did a short row
Mm.
turn,
Hmm.
and then so this is the wrong side of my ribbing, but it looks a lot nicer. With twisted rib, you don't really have that like problem of like the right side looking kind of messy. So I do like how the finishings on this sweater look. Like I think they look really clean. And I think that it'll be a good length. I have tried it on with the one more stripe and then 10 centimeters of ribbing here. So yeah, at this point I do not have a full skein of the contrast color left. So part of this is like when I first was making it, I like didn't really know about like carrying yarn along or like just, kind of like things that you can do. So I was just like cutting my yarn for each stripe. So then when I initially after all my row gauge issues, I just frogged the entire thing and I started over because I had to redo like the top yoke or the top. So and it's top down. So I was like, I'll just start it over. Um, and so I just have like all these like um, small quantities of yarn
Yeah.
that are, like, in this bag, and then I have my my back panel that I could frog. Um, so, I mean, this is, like, like, this is at least, like, 3 stripes of a sleeve, so I'm like, "Maybe I make it because 'cause you're, like, decreasing, so it might be fine." But yeah, I just have a lot of, like, odds and ends really of mainly the contrast color. Like, the main color, I have a whole unused skein of,
Mhm.
and, um yeah, but so the thing about this yarn that I didn't realize at first also is the Soft Yak DK, it's 76% cotton.
Oh.
Yeah, and then 15% yak, 9% nylon, and it is
Mm.
very soft,
Mhm.
but one thing I'm nervous about is that cotton can kind of shrink when you block it also, right? Or does it grow?
I think it grows one direction and shrinks the other direction.
Ooh. So yeah, I'm not like very confident about how it will behave once it's blocked. So I'll probably give it a steam soon to like, because with the drop shoulder, also like the length of the sleeve is like influenced by the width of the shoulder because it like drops, down your shoulder. So I'll probably steam it and just to like double check the length of the sleeve. But so I'm hoping to finish the sleeve and then figure out if I have enough yarn or whatever, and then act accordingly. But one thing is I have been having a really hard time knitting on the sleeves. I think it's I don't know. I feel like it's like the small circumference, but then also having like the weight of the garment and like having to sort of constantly turn it. So I'm using my shorties and I'm using one 3-inch and then one 2-inch. And
Ooh.
I guess I'm using them, like, in the opposite way that you were saying, so the longer one is my, like, working needle that I'm forming stitches on. And so I thought maybe that would be easier on my hands, but I feel like I still just, like, am working on this very slowly.
Mhm.
So, I've been doing, like, a stripe a day, I think,
That's
like, when
good.
I have worked on it. Um Yeah, so it's coming along. I feel like my motivation to get it done, like I would love to have it done by the end of the year. But I mostly am just like I want this to be done, off my needles, out of my project bag, like finished. Like I'm just kind of like I would like to move on to like making other things, and this has been on my needles for way too long. So I restarted it in July, after frogging the entire thing at some point in the spring. So, yeah, I would really like to finish this. And it is getting there. Like we're I don't know if the finish line is in sight, but like it's definitely we're closing in on it for sure.
Yes.
I'm more than halfway. So, um yeah, but so probably I'll finish a sleeve and then maybe finish the body and then do the other sleeve or something like that. I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm just not looking forward to being at the beginning of a sleeve again,
Mhm.
because I feel like that's the hardest part. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. I might switch to Magic Loop and see if that goes better, but I feel like on DK weight yarn, like that's sort of the same thing with the Cargill cowl. That's where I tend to get laddering.
Mm.
Um, but I did my levitate wrap sleeves on Magic Loop and that was fine. So, but that was like bulky.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
Have you
stripe knit
tried
sweater.
the needles in opposite where the working hand has the shorter one?
I could try that actually. Maybe I will. I
I
haven't
think,
tried it, but
is it like a specific hand? I forgot which hand is your one that's,
I'm right-handed.
or I don't know which one's like more irritated, but I think the reason why I like the
Oh, my right
longer,
hand is more
okay.
irritated.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll help, but the reason that I like the longer one on my left is just because like I grip it more, I think.
Mhm.
Whereas the working one, I don't necessarily need all of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, that
you
makes
know
sense.
what? Is it opposite? Actually, it might be opposite. No, no.
I mean, I'll try it and let you know how it goes.
You know what? There's a semi-easy solution if I can find my thought. um, I think no, I think it's the working needle as the shorter one because there was also something weird, at least for socks, because the 10 inches is honestly a little bit too big for like a rib
Mhm.
sock.
Yes.
Um, there's something about that one where having the longer needle on the right just like made a weird crease, I think.
Oh.
Um, but I feel like you're probably not having that issue with the sleeve because it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Um, this is not a whip I was going to talk about because I haven't really worked on it. Oh, okay. Apparently, I have the longer one in my right.
Okay. So the same. Okay.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
maybe I will try the opposite
yeah,
way
and
and
I
just
guess
see
it's
how that
also just
goes.
something like personal, where you
Yeah,
need like
totally.
more of the support. If that is that your right or the left, which maybe it is your right, but um. Oh, and then
Yeah,
the other
my
thing I
right
was
hand has the
gonna say is for the sleeve thing. Oh yeah, Pebs. Hi Pebs. Come
Hi,
here. Let's talk
Pebble.
about sleeves together. I've heard similar things and have experienced similar things where it's like when you're working on the top, the beginning of the sleeve, you're like twisting the entire garment.
Yeah.
Um, but I have seen things where the people will put the body of the sweater in like a bag or something, so that
Oh.
in like a project bag, so that when you are twisting it, it's like just the bag. But then also, once the sleeve gets a little bit longer, then you don't have to
Mhm.
twist the whole sweater.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been, like, waiting for that point to come,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "I'm not there yet," and it's been, like it feels like it's been forever working on this sleeve.
Hmm.
But maybe it's just that it feels like it's been forever working on this sweater, so hi,
Bubble.
Pebbles. Aw.
Let her lick. She lick, lick, lick.
So cute. We
Okay.
love you, Pebbles.
Um, you can talk about another whip,
Sure, yeah, I mean, continuing with the theme of sleeves.
maybe.
Um, so I guess another project that I could have finished probably at this point. This is in several pieces. This is my Agnete cardigan
Oh, right.
by Petite Knit. So we have a sleeve, knit flat.
Is that
We
part of the pattern or
have
is that all?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will explain.
Oh,
Um,
I think I understand. Okay.
we have okay. So I showed you my ones. Um, We have another sleeve, knit flat, but this one has been seamed already. Okay, sorry. This is the Agnete cardigan by Petite Knit. It is a brioche cardigan with a double knit button band. I am making mine in West Yorkshire Spinners BFL Fleece DK in the color Ravine. And I am obsessed with this color. I wanna
So
have this
pretty.
done so bad. So I finished the body. It's bound off. All that is done. You do the button band while you knit it. So the button band is done. As you saw, I have 2 sleeves. These are done. The sleeves are finished except for the cuffs. So I just yeah, I was having a really hard time knitting brioche in the round. Um And I think it just was like, again, that same thing of like when you pick up sleeves and like being so close, like to the garment. And then this is 450 grams of yarn. So that's a pound. Like this
Hmm.
weighs like 1 pound. So trying to like manipulate that and like move it around, I think was just really hard. And then I tried like magic loop and I was like, I don't know if that's going to work with brioche. And then trying to keep track also of, like, when I was brioche knitting and when I was brioche purling,
Mhm.
like, was hard for me, and I was like, "I had such a nice time knitting the body flat, like, why don't I just knit the sleeves flat?" Or I looked through Ravelry projects and somebody else did this, so I was like, "You know what? Yeah, the body was really easy to knit flat and it was, like, actually enjoyable." Like, I really liked it because you literally just do the same thing on each side, like, it's nice. So, um, yeah,
Ah, it looks so good.
I really wanna wear it on Christmas, but gift knitting.
I mean, this is more like, seaming.
I know, yeah, so I literally just need
Just
to
wear the parts.
I just need to oh my gosh. Well, okay, this isn't blocked, but, like, I need to attach this to the cardigan, and then I need to make the cuff. And so I knit this to pattern. The length is good. I'll lose a little length this way when because 'cause it'll widen because it's
Mhm.
brioche. But the cuff is 7 centimeters, so I think that'll be fine. And, um, I mean, yeah, that's I'm like this one I literally am at the finish line. Oh, I guess then I need to get buttons. Um,
Mhm.
so but oh my gosh,
Oh, it looks so good.
uh, yeah, I'm yeah. And this is so I know BFL is more rustic. I feel like this is soft. Like when you touch it, you're like, wow, this is very soft. It's very squishy.
Mhm.
But then if you were to touch something like this, like the Falkland Islands wool, this is soft.
Mhm.
Like you could lay down on it and go to sleep soft. This is I think this is going to be really good because I think it's going to be like a very jacket sort of like this could be like a overlayer almost. So yeah, that's what I really wanna have it done because 'cause we're going to Tahoe in a few
Oh,
weekends, and,
yeah.
I'm just like, I could wear it, and it would be snowing, and it would be
Yeah,
so
it'd be
cute.
so nice.
So, yeah, we're almost there, but, I mean, I do recommend, knitting brioche flat, I guess, I don't know. The seaming on this, I feel like
Ooh,
looks pretty good.
yeah, that
I
looks
just knit
great.
the sleeves to pattern. And then added a knit stitch to each side.
Mhm.
So I had a selvage edge that I could sew up. And then I think it'll be a little trickier, but I don't think it'll be that bad to seam the end on. So I mean, yeah, it could be done and then I need to block it and give it time to dry or whatever. So I'm like, if I want to finish this before Christmas so I can wear it, I need to get it done so that I can block it and it can dry because things are taking forever to
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love this. I'm obsessed. What size did I make? I think I made the 4th size, the large, and then I used a 3.25 millimeter needle.
Oh, that's so small.
Yeah. So yeah, this has been I started this in July, on July 1st. So and let's see, I finished the first sleeve on November 3rd, and then I think I finished the second sleeve like mid-November, like
Mm.
just before Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
So this would be done if not for gift knitting. But yeah. Yeah,
It
that's
looks
my
so
I think
good.
cardigan. It's almost done. I'm like,
You're so
please.
close.
Yeah, I'm really close.
Wow. Honestly, I'm like so impressed because I'm so scared of the Agni pattern because it's knitted on 3.25 with brioche.
No.
And I'm like,
It was fun. I really enjoyed knitting brioche. Yeah, it's not scary. I had to tink back a couple rows once
hmm.
because I was afraid of lettering down, but
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think I don't know. I really enjoyed working on it. Like, I'm like, what other things can I make in brioche?
I still
Um,
haven't done proper brioche. I've only done half fisherman's ribs, so I'm gonna have to do brioche soon.
yeah, I mean, it's literally like so squishy. Like, it's so nice. I love it. And yeah, it's just, I really like the experience of like knitting, like it's the same on both sides, you know? Like, so I just feel like I was like happily working on it on the
Hmm.
body. And then I got to like trying to knit brioche in the round and I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad I decided to do the sleeves flat. So, my plan is to seam the sleeves and then I left the stitches on hold. So, I'll just do the cuffs in the round
Yeah. Yeah.
and like use my ends to close up any holes. So, hopefully that goes fine. I don't know if I'm gonna, it is a 1 by 1 rib. I might do like a short row turn again, but
Mm.
you know, we'll see. So, yeah,
Yeah. I'm so excited for that. That's gonna look so nice.
I know. It's almost there.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn, I think.
Um, yeah, I am going to talk about my Alvar by Sari Nordlund, which I now remembered looking at my notes that I did talk about last podcast, but
Uh-huh.
I,
You had,
again,
like,
it's
just started,
lost.
I think.
So I know I thought I just started, but I started this in August.
Oh.
um, so
Oh my
here she
gosh!
is. Probably when I started it, I think I just joined in the round or something like that when I talked about it. Because yeah, so this is the Alvar pullover by Sari Nordlund, which is like a Gainsey sweater thing. So it has this like little stitch pattern, which is literally just knits and purls, and it's charted. I'm knitting the size 2, and I'm using Explorer Knits and Fibers, Earthy DK, and the color Squim, um, from the Seattle collection,
It looks
which,
so good.
yeah, I bought this year when they did the pop-up at Bainbridge,
Yeah.
at La Mercerie this year.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm using for this. I'm using 3.75 millimeter needles, which is one needle size up from what's recommended in the pattern. I did gauge swatch with it, and it was like relatively on gauge. And then I think potentially my gauge loosened up while I was knitting it, but I think I remeasured my gauge recently, and it was fine. And I also did try this on, and I was like fine with the amount of ease it had, so that was
Nice.
all good. So the construction for this is like a very Sari Nordlund construction where you cast on at the back and then you do increases along the shoulder. And then you put the stitches on hold and you pick up at the shoulder seams to make the front. And because it's this texture pattern that's a chart, you need to make sure that you end the front pieces and the back pieces at the same point to join in the round so that you're, yeah, at the same row in the chart when you join and start working in the round. And so she kind of gives like a recommendation for each size of when to end the knitting, like what row to end on. And then you put it on hold and you continue with the other one. That didn't work out for me. And it says in the instructions like if the length is not to what you want, because it tells you what row to end on, but it also tells you the length that it should be. And so in the instructions, they're like, okay, if it's not the correct length, then just add more yarn and like just knit more and then just keep track of what row you end on in the chart. So that's what I had to do. And so I essentially had both the front and the back before they were connected on 2 separate needles, just like
Ooh.
knitting and then like
Yeah.
knitting the other one to like kind of make sure that it was a good length for me. And I
Yeah.
think like when I measured my swatch, my swatch was exactly like 4 inches when I knitted it, and then it grew to 4.5. So I think maybe roughly when this blocks, it gains half an inch for every 4 inches. Theoretically, I don't know. So I kind of like guesstimated when I ended basically, and then you join in the round, and then just knit in the round. And so for this, since I am using hand dyed yarn, I am alternating skeins.
Ooh.
Oh, hi, Mika.
Mika.
You're easy. Well, look at my Alvar pullover before you sleep. um, yeah, so I am alternating skeins. I did not start by alternating skeins. I started with one skein on the back, and then when I picked up the shoulder, I used a completely different skein because from my eye, I couldn't tell the difference between the yarn. But I think you can tell here that nope, this way. That these are different shades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very slight,
Very
though.
slight. I can only tell in certain lightings, but this one is
Yeah.
definitely lighter than this one. So because of that, I was like fine if the shoulder was gonna have a seam, like
Totally.
whatever. So I started alternating when I joined in the round. Somewhere here, and I think you can not really tell. I think it looks pretty seamless, especially with the texture and everything. Um, if it looks a little off, I feel like it's just you can blame it on the texture. But I didn't want to do helical knitting just because I didn't want to deal with having to be on two different
Yeah.
rows of the chart at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm just crossing the yarn back on the side, on one side, and it's on this side. And there definitely is like a seam that you can tell here. But I don't really mind because it's on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all good there. Um, and yeah, I think I'm at the point where I want to pick up the neckline and knit that to just like kind of see.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm alternating, I'm just going to continue doing the body and then I'll do the sleeves instead of stopping now. I think that's probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Because you have 2
definitely,
balls attached to
yeah,
your.
and I have 5 total skeins. I've used up 2 already, and so I'm on the third and fourth, and I have 1 more skein left. So yeah, so I didn't really. A lot of times when I am alternating, I try to leave 1 skein that I used for the top yoke to use on the beginning of the sleeves, but I didn't do that this time. Whatever. um, I think it should be okay.
It'll be fine.
But yeah, there's the
It looks
Alvar.
so good.
I'm very excited for this.
I love the
I think
texture.
I want this to be like kind of longer so that I can like tuck it in really easily.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see. I'm currently not worried about yarn, but I guess I'll continue knitting and then maybe if I get worried, then I'll do the sleeves first. But yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to wear
So
this.
good. Yes. It's gonna be so cute.
Wow. Okay. Also, I highly recommend non-superwash yarn because I've been spit splicing this and I've been spit
Ooh,
splicing the other whip that
nice.
we'll talk about.
Okay. So, well, I can talk about this one quickly. This is like technically a whip, but it's also like 2 small finished objects. But like I have plans for a lot more, so I will
Oh, yes.
cut to the chase. This is the beginnings of my tiny scrappy sweater garland. So these are the mini crop puff by
So
Geraldine
cute.
Yang. Yeah. So I am using up leftover sock yarn to make tiny sweaters. And then I am going to put them all onto a garland and it'll be really cute. And I'll have like a nice winter decoration. So this one is let's see, Retrosaria by Rosa Pomar, Mondim. Um, I don't know what color it is. I could tell you, but I would have to scroll around. It's this color with where it's white and it has like turquoise and blue and purple. And it's the leftover yarn that I used for my ripple bralette earlier this year. So I have like I think still like 20 grams left. Yes, next winter, exactly. And then this one is from a mini set from Lamb Good Fibers that I got at Flock in
Oh,
2023.
cute. Yes.
Yeah. So this one I knit to pattern because this was my first one. So you start, it's like a raglan. You like essentially are knitting like a tiny raglan. So you do some ribbing for the collar, you do your raglan increases, you literally put like, however many stitches this is on hold. You put your sleeves on hold. you knit the body, you do some ribbing at the bottom, and then you come back, you make the sleeves, and you do a little ribbed cuff. Um, so I was kind of unhappy with like, obviously, this is like, very small. Like, 1, it's not even a garment. 2, it is literally small. Yeah, so I did knit these on Magic Loop, on a US 1, which is 2.25 millimeters.
Okay, yeah. That's like sock gauge basically.
Yeah, like what my needle I would use for a sock. Um, so for oh, sorry, I was unhappy with how my 1 by 1 ribbing looked at the bottom because of, classic 1 by 1 ribbing problems.
I can't even
And I
tell.
thought that yeah, the collar kinda like, if you look really close at it, it kinda looked messy to me. So, for this one, I experimented with doing twisted rib for the
Mm.
hem, and then the ribbing on the sleeve cuff, like, was just very fiddly and, like, not very fun, and I don't think it's very impactful in the finished, like, object. So I just did stockinette. Like,
Oh, that's
could
stockinette?
you just yeah,
Oh, it looks
this
great.
is stockinette.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it looks like I prefer
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, I mean, I think they both look fine, but
Yeah.
it just was a lot, like, doing ribbing on, like, 10 stitches. I don't
Yeah.
like, it was annoying, and I was like, "You really cannot even tell,
No,
like,
I couldn't tell.
if they're, like, way back here
Uh-huh.
even, like, as a garland," like so, yeah, I don't know how I'll do my next ones. I'm sort of, like I very quickly ran out of, like, leftover quantities of sock yarn that I felt like I could use because these both used about 6 grams of yarn. And a lot of my sock leftovers, like, I've made just a pair of socks with, and
Mhm.
then so I have, like, 40 grams of, like, sock yarn. So, I think, we were talking about this last time, but I've kinda been looking at, like, I could literally make, like, another pair of socks with that, like, I could do some toe-up shorties, I could do, like, use it as a contrast for a pressed flowers sock, like, there are so many different things I could do, with that quantity or, like, even other accessories, right? So, I'm kind of having a hard time, like, detaching myself from all of those, like, thoughts of what could this yarn be. Um, but so I need to make some more socks before I make some more tiny sweaters. Um, but so I think in terms of, like, in the future, when I do have enough to turn them into a garland, right now I just have them, like, on my Christmas tree, and they're so cute.
Cute.
Um, but I think I was, like, trying to think, like, how would I attach these to a garland? Like, I could do a little loop. I could, like, you know, just sort of sew them to a garland, like, sew the collar on there. And then I was like, I've been keeping this, like I don't even know where I got this. It was, like, some packaging or, like, something maybe, I don't even know. I have this, like, wire, maybe it was, like, floral wire that I bought or
Mm.
something, but I was like, I could make tiny hangers, and I could hang the tiny sweaters on the garland. Yes, I could also do, like, a mini
Oh,
laundry
that would be
line. That would be
cute.
really cute. Um, but yeah, potentially tiny hangers as well because I have been saving that wire for a rainy day, literally for years, and it would be good to, like, do something with it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so these are my this is a whip. It'll be a very long-term whip, like, I probably won't talk about it in every episode unless I, like, really am as I said, I have a lot of socks to make before I before I make more tiny socks. But this is my plan for, like, smaller quantities of my sock leftovers. Um, so yeah, because I've sort of been trying to think, like, with my leftover yarn, like, what do I wanna do with it? I don't just want it, like, kinda sitting around for forever, and you don't need to keep 40 grams on hand for darning purposes, you know? So yeah. So I'm quite happy. And these take me like 4 hours,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not very
Yes,
bad, so,
Mika.
yeah.
I think we all should be making tiny sweaters. They're
Yes,
so
yes.
cute.
They're like I love them. I've seen several other patterns. So the one I mentioned, the mini crop puff, is raglan and it's a free pattern. And then there's another one that's a circular yoke. And so I saw that one and like the samples had like different color work like in the yoke.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
It's so cute because they all have like different color work motifs in the
Gosh,
yoke, but then like it's like they're the same colors and they're all small and like I was
so
like, "This is
cute.
so cute." So and I'm sure also you could make it like a little larger. Like if you just did the body like a little wider, I think this could be like a good like gift card hat. Like if you were gifting someone
Oh,
like a gift
wait,
card,
that's
or
cute.
people do these as like promise keepers also. Like
Mhm.
if you're making someone a sweater, or if you're going to make someone a sweater, you like gift them this for Christmas and then you make them the sweater, you know. So, anyways, yeah, that's my tiny scrappy sweater garland coming in 2025. Hopefully.
So cute. Mika, which Sanderson book did you just started? You're not reading
The
Stormlight, are
worst
you?
time.
um, yeah, I need to figure out things to do with my scraps, but every time I try to think about scrap things, I'm like, I don't have enough scraps. But then I'm like,
It's hard to have like
ugh,
a the right quantity of
yeah.
scraps and then it's like you don't want to buy yarn to make a scrappy project. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
Not me with my Big Little Yarn Co. Studio Ghibli Club's yarns for blanket, which I feel like blankets are normally like, a scrap project, but what do you mean you haven't finished the whole thing already? Wait, are you starting the Stormlight series or you're starting Stormlight 5? So I was like, I don't know if you've read Stormlight 4 unless I've just missed the entire conversation because it's all in a thread in Matt's Discord.
Oh,
um,
no, I meant, like, buying new yarn to use
oh,
with your
yeah,
scraps,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like which I like, is valid, I think, but, like, like,
Ideally.
if you're making, like, a sweet shop blanket,
Yeah,
right? You need to
yeah.
buy a main color
Hmm.
maybe, but yeah,
No, I know what you mean. I know what you
yeah.
mean.
It's hard to get, like, the right quantity of
Yeah,
scrap
yeah,
in yeah, and make sure they're all coordinating, like
yeah. And like having the same weight and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So, we'll get there eventually. I'll
We'll
have
get
to evaluate.
Mhm.
Hexypuff Beekeeper's
Yes,
quilt. Yeah, that's true.
that's
Those
so
are really
cute.
cute.
I've seen people recently doing them with, like, sort of in the style of, like, English paper piecing flowers. So, like, you do, like, one central hexie that's, like, one color, and then you
Oh.
do the 6 around, like, in the same yarn.
Oh, that's
So they look like
cute.
flowers, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's really cute.
Um. Oh yeah, Way of Kings. Okay. Well, good luck. That's a lot of pages. Um. Yeah, I want to make an heirloom quilt cardigan soon.
Mm.
And I do really like not the sweet shop blanket, but the one that is in the quilt pattern. Like I think that one's
Mhm.
also
The
so
Stella
cute.
quilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
So I
cute.
don't know. We'll see. Lots of plans.
Yeah.
But I will talk about my
Yes.
next and final whip, which is also an acquisition. And also another Sorry Norland pattern. So I started the Lume pullover by Sorry
Yes!
Nordland. I started
It's
this
so
about a week and a half ago. So this is all I've been working on, and I think
oh
I've
my
knit like
gosh.
half a row on the Alvar at one point when I couldn't continue for some reason on this one. um but yeah, so this is a colorwork sweater by Sari Nordland. It's like a pretty one of her like popular patterns and also like older
Mhm.
patterns.
Yeah, but it's
So
gorgeous.
yeah, I'm so excited for
It
this.
looks
So
so good.
I am knitting it in Knitting for Olive's Heavy Merino in the shade Plum
Ooh.
Clay as my main color.
Wait, plum clay.
Yeah, and then
I was
oatmeal
looking at this color. Oatmeal.
is my contrast color. So basically one day, a week and a half ago, on
Uh-huh.
Black Friday, actually,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I remembered that Acorn Street Shop starts their holiday sale, which is 20% off one purchase between Small Business Saturday and like the end of the year, Christmas or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to make a Lumi pullover. I'm feeling pretty inspired by it. I think just because it's the holidays and I feel like color work is
Mhm.
very like
I've been seeing a
holiday-y.
lot of them
Me
lately
too.
too.
I watched like
Yeah.
3 podcasts and I'm like, why don't we
Yeah.
all start Lumi pullovers? Um, yeah, and then I was like, I've always planned to make this in Cascade 220 because I've only ever
Mhm.
used Cascade 220 for a gift knit and never for myself. But then I
Mhm.
remember that Acorn Street started carrying Knitting for Olive
Yeah.
like late
Yeah.
this year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go in store. And if I like a color combo from Cascade 220 more, then I'll get that. But if I like the Knitting for Olive. Anyway, I did kind of look at Knitting for Olive first. And then I did look at Cascade 220. And I was like, but yeah, I basically went and I was like looking at the different main colors. And like they obviously don't have the full color selection in Knitting for Olive because there's so many colors.
Yeah.
And I originally wanted a heathered color as the main color and a non-heathered as a contrast color. But the heathered color that I found within this color family, because I wanted it to be like a darker taupe or darker gray, I
Mhm.
thought was a little too light and I think warm for
Mm.
my preference and when I like held it against my skin and everything. So I settled on plum clay. Settled. I don't know. I liked this one better. And then I was deciding between 2 contrast colors, one which wasn't a heather, and then one that was. I can look through my messages to remember the name, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But when I held oatmeal next to plum clay, I thought that plum clay just brought out these more like purpley tones in the heather of oatmeal that you can't really see like individually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really liked that. And I was like, okay, we're gonna go with it. And before I went to the store, I also like decided on which size to make and everything since I needed to know how much to make or how much to buy. So the Lumi pullover is knitting oatmeal. So true.
True.
The Lumi pullover is a sweater pattern that has less ease, which honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's an older pattern, kind of makes sense because I think the like extreme positive ease got more trendy like
Recently.
recently.
Yeah.
I don't even know when this was published. But I decided to knit a size 3 because I like more positive ease. So this would give me about 20 centimeters, 20 to 25 no, 20, 15 to 20 centimeters of positive ease, about 7 inches. But also it's because I recently, I don't know, within the last 3 months, I watched a knitting podcast from Laura Penrose where she was talking about designing the, I think, Maxine sweater, which
Yes.
is her latest color work sweater that was just released. And she talked about in that podcast how she discovered by making the circular yoke color work that she has broader shoulders than her bust measurement. Um, and I've always been someone who like sized up with shirts because I didn't like the way that tighter like sleeves things felt around my shoulders. So I did like
Mhm.
very loose measurements of my shoulders and compared it to the size chart. And I too was like, oh, maybe it's not that I have broad
Discovery.
shoulders, but it's that my bust is
Yeah.
small for my shoulders. Cause like I think when I looked at it, my shoulders, my waist, my hips were within the same size and then my
Mhm.
bust was like 1 or 2 sizes smaller. So I was like, oh, that's probably why I like a lot of positive ease. So that's also one of the reasons why I was like, I'm gonna size up.
Yeah.
And so I know that within the Maxine sweater pattern, oh, I kind of feel bad talking about this. Well, I know that she added modifications to the sweater pattern for people who have broader shoulders. And she
Yes.
did talk in her podcast specifically that the modification is that you knit the larger size and then you decrease after you knit the color
Mhm.
work for the yoke so that your body and sleeves are the correct measurement. So I was like,
Yeah.
because I was originally planning on buying the pattern so I could see what the mod is. But then she said that in the podcast and I was like, okay, I can just do whatever I want. Like, you know, like I'll just take that information and run with it. But that's why I chose a size 3. And yeah, I literally cast this project on the same day that I bought the yarn. I like came home and I was like, it's time. But yeah, I'm using all the same needle sizes that is mentioned in the pattern, with the 5mm for color work, 4.5 for just the plain stockinette, and then 4 for the ribbing. And I did mod the neckline slightly in that it tells you to knit the whole neckline, and then at the end you like whip stitch it together, but I just knit 2 together at the same time. Mine, you can see it kind of like stands up a little bit, and it's a little wide, but I'm hoping that this kind of like stretches out a little bit like that, and then I can always add elastic.
Wait, so you haven't blocked it?
No, I haven't blocked it.
Your tension is like incredible.
Thank you. I do think there's
so
like a little bit of puckering, and a lot of my problem with color, like circular yoke sweaters. Well, I've only knit 2, and they've both been color work, but I think it's the increases. I just like, I don't know, I think they look a little bit weird, but I notice them in like other people's projects too. So I think it's just the nature of circular yoke. Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I did do a swatch for this, but I was just really excited to cast on the project. So this is probably the worst swatch I've ever done in my life. When I was swatching, I forgot, and I confused the needle sizes. So I did do it in the round, by the way.
Okay.
But I did the stockinette, like 2 rows of stockinette in the 5mm, and then I sized down to 4.5 to knit my color work.
Oh my gosh.
But I think I measured it and I was like, close enough, and started the project. Because I was really excited. And I'm using the CNET needles. Wow, I'm saying everything out of order because I've been really excited about this. So here's my really bad swatch. I also didn't block this. I will block this before I wash it just to make sure there's no bleeding. And then if the swatch bleeds, then I'll figure it out. But it's commercial yarn, so it should be okay. What else? Oh, the other thing. Yes, have a good sleep, Mika. Thanks for hanging.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
The other thing is the Lume pattern was updated at some point on Ravelry. And I did not know, because I've bought this pattern like at some time, maybe a year ago when Sorry Nordland had a pattern sale. So I've had this pattern for maybe like a year. And I thought that it would just update if there was an update. Yeah. But apparently you need to press a button that said it's like an update is available. Do you want to update? And you say yes, and then it adds another entry into your library with the updated pattern. And it doesn't even distinguish. It's just Lume pullover again in my library. I don't know.
Weird.
But I didn't discover this until I got to the first increase row in the chart, in the colorwork chart, because I had the outdated version of the pattern. And in the outdated version of the pattern in the chart, one of the things in the legend keys said invisible increase with the contrast color. And I was looking at it and I was like, I don't even know how you do this in the contrast color, because the invisible increase you lift. I mean, I guess, yeah, you would just, I don't know, but I was confused about it. And then I was like looking at the sweater pictures and I was like, there aren't random stitches in the contrast color. Yeah. So then I searched about it on Ravelry, and people in the comments also were like, this is a mistake. It's supposed to be the main color. It is updated in the updated version of the pattern. But the notes on the update are just that it updates the format of the pattern, and it doesn't say any like that it has a correction or anything in it. And I did check. I'm working off of the old version because I was too lazy to like transfer notes over. But I did look at the updated version after the fact, and it does correct in the chart that it's invisible increases with the main color. So just FYI, because I feel like I've watched a bunch of knitting podcasts about the Lume and no one's ever mentioned this. So either they figured it out, or they knew how to update their pattern and we're working off of the updated pattern. But just in case if you have an older version of the Lume, make sure that it's updated and you use the updated pattern,
Huh.
or just know that it's invisible increase with the main color, which you can tell from looking at the pictures, but it is a little misleading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then I did make one other mod. I'm knitting size 3, but I've just split for sleeves. So literally today, I was not doing a lot of work today. Um but I put my sleeve stitches on hold and I'm working on the body. And I was kind of like looking at the measurements and stuff, and I do like, again, like I was saying, like looser sleeves. So I changed the stitch count slightly. And I did try to like look to see if it like works with the colorwork motifs, but I don't think it's really that careful. Like the stitch counts in the pattern itself are not very careful on like making sure the motifs like measure up somewhere. But
Mm.
I don't know, it ended up okay because I think I have a flower in the center, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I adjusted it so that I have more, four? Is it four? I think it's four. Yeah, I have four more stitches on each sleeve, and then eight less stitches on the front and the back. Um, so that puts me at the size 4 in sleeves and an in between size 2 and 3 for the body. Which I wanted to make sure that I have the sleeve counts correct in the pattern because there's also sleeve color work. But I also
Oh.
might do extra decreases to get it back down to size 3 sleeve. I don't know. I'll figure that
Yeah.
out later.
Yeah.
But for the body, it doesn't really matter because it's an even number, so the ribbing will be fine, and then there's no more color work on the body. So I
Yep.
did do the short rows.
Yeah.
So the back is longer. The
Oh,
short rows are
yeah.
after the color work, so the
Wow.
back is longer than the front. And then there's also short rows at the hem, which I assume is because when you do a circular yoke, the side hems kind of lift up a little bit because it's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
circle. So I
Yeah, yeah.
assume that's what the hem short rows are for, to drop the that. But I'm not
Yeah.
positive because I didn't read that part of the pattern except for the title.
Yeah, that's interesting.
um and that a lot of people, the projects that I looked at on Ravelry, a lot of people skipped the short row at the hem.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm planning on doing them. So
Hmm. Cool. No, yeah, that's like literally so pretty. And you're so far on it already.
I
That's
know
crazy.
it's worsted weight, so it goes pretty fast.
Yeah. But oh
Um,
my, like your color work looks so good.
it looks and it
Yeah.
looks like just so much more graphic from like
Yeah.
afar. You
Yeah.
know, like especially these little things at the bottom. Like
Uh-huh.
every time I actually look at it, also I'm looking at it from upside down, right? Because that's
Yeah.
the way I'm working. And I'm like, it looks like nothing. And then I look at it here and I'm like, oh, okay, I see the
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
like, pointiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yay.
Yeah. No, yeah, plum clay is a color I was looking at from Knitting
Yeah.
for Olive,
Yeah.
actually specifically in the heavy merino.
Ooh.
Um, because I was looking at like sort of their selection of dark browns and everything,
Mhm.
but it's really interesting. Like I was looking at a lot of like projects on Ravelry and like in some lights it looks more like
Oh,
purple
you were
and then
sending
in some
pictures of
lights
this.
yeah, it looks
Yeah.
more brown. So I feel like that'll be like a cool like sort of in different lights it'll, kind
Yeah.
of color
Yeah, I'm
changey
excited for it because
yarn.
it's definitely a
Yeah.
purpley brown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But on
It's
like when
so
I just hold
pretty.
this up here, it just
Yeah,
looks like a cool tone brown.
yeah,
But
exactly.
then like when I hold this up, you can
Yeah,
see
it
more of
does
like
look
the
kind of
yeah.
purpley. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, so cute. Well, speaking of purple, okay, so my last two, I guess, whips are gift knits for Christmas. So the first one is a pair of socks, um, for my mom, hopefully, if the fit works out.
Oh, yes.
So I am just making, I guess, sort of a vanilla sock, but kind of just like self-drafted with this Zobber ball that I've had for a few months. And so I finished the
Ooh.
first sock. So the Zobber Ball. This is how one sock turned out. So it is a 3 by 1 rib, because I find that's really nice for gift knits, because the rib, obviously, it's very stretchy. I did a slip stitch heel flap, um, heel flap and gusset. And then, yeah, similar to your sock, the bottom of the foot is stockinette, and then the top is 3 by 1 rib. And then I did a normal wedge toe. Um, so I did 72 stitches because my mom is the same shoe size as me, and I inherited her wider feet. So I was like, probably like, I didn't measure her feet or anything before I started these, so I was kinda like, "If it fits me, it'll probably fit her." And, like, I'm considering, like, bringing my needles on Christmas, so, like, if the length needs serious fixing, like, I can just sorta do it and, then she can have the socks. So, yeah, these, let's see, I started these November 20th, and I just finished the sock, like, last night.
It looks good.
Um, yeah, I do love a Zauberball. I think I started this, like, as a treat because it's just really nice to I don't know, I love the color change and, like, this one has, like, a little bit more gray than I think I like, especially this big section in the foot
Mhm.
here. Um, I don't know, I kinda wish it was just more of, like, a lighter purple, and I, like, really love, like, this. Like, when these 2 colors sort of blend together,
Mhm.
like, the more fuchsia-y bright purple, but it is what it is. I think it still looks nice. So, um, yeah. So I
Cute.
have cast on the second sock and done 1 row, because I would like to finish these before Christmas. Um, but yeah, 3 by 1, 72 stitches. I did 4 inches for the leg, and then the foot I think is like 5.5, 5.25 inches, and then I started the toe. Um, and yeah, one thing I'm not sure about with sock fit recently, so my red and blue socks that I made that were finished in the last podcast, those were 72 stitches, and they were in, like, sort of a waffle stitch texture. Um, those fit, but then after I blocked them, they were, like, quite loose. So I sort of wasn't sure if that was, like, because my sock blockers are too big or if it was just, like, the texture really opened up or,
Mhm.
like, kind of what. 'Cause I do feel like some of my, like, vanilla, like, stockinette socks are maybe a little loose, so I've been considering going down to 66 stitches for myself. So we'll see. I'll report back
Mhm.
probably when I make my next pair of socks. But so these are coming along. Yeah, so I have to do 1 more sock.
Cute.
Um, but yeah. So hopefully my mom likes them. She,
Yeah.
like, sort of vaguely expressed interest in, like, you know, like, a very subtle way when I said that I had been making socks for James, so,
Aw.
I was like, "Okay, maybe she'd like a sock." Um, and then so I mentioned earlier so that's that on that. I mentioned earlier the Lion Brand color theory, and I bought that to make, um some mini mince pies
Oh, yeah.
by Louise Walker. Um, so these are like a little sorry, I have to like find all of my pieces in here. Okay, here we go. Um, so this is the one I'm the farthest on. I'm making 4 of these.
They're so cute.
Yeah. They are very cute. So they're about 3.5 inches across. So these I am going to add a little loop onto and then gift them as ornaments to my in-law family.
Mhm.
So I'm making 4. One of them is for us. And James is English, so, like, mince pies are, like, a Christmas tradition. So, I mean, the pattern is nice. I feel like you could knit one of these in an evening if you wanted to, but I'm sort of assembly lining them. So, there are 3 different pieces. So there's a bottom piece,
Mm.
eh, and then there's, like, the pie piece, which looks like that, and then you knit the star. So you can see so this is the Lion Brand color theory in the color bone. And then this contrast is that same color raisin that I used for the baby bear bonnet. And then the star, you hold the main color with like I did a piece of embroidery thread. And it's
Ooh.
supposed to mimic like powdered sugar.
Cute.
Yeah, so these are, like, really cute. So there's 3 pieces per thing. I have 4 bottom pieces done. I have 2 pie pieces, and then I have 2 stars done. Um, so I actually went down a needle size for the star because the first one I made, I felt like it covered too much of, like, the sort of the filling.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I went down a needle size. I'm using a 3.75 millimeter needle for this, so I went down to a 3.25 for the is that right? No, maybe 3.5. Probably, yeah. 3.5 millimeter needle for the star. Um, so yeah, I mean the bottom pieces are like really very simple and small. The pie pieces I think are kind of killer on especially on the hands. So you can see like they kind of have this like detail here, like the crust of the
Yeah.
pie. And then also it like turns there. So all of the increases in this are knit front and back.
Mm.
But then when you do this part, because you work these flat and then you seam them down the side at the end, you knit front, back, front across
Mm.
an entire row. And then you purl, and then you knit 3 together across the entire
Mm.
row, and that's
Mhm.
how you get, like, the edge of the pie and, like, the sort of raised bit that is the crust. And it looks nice, but it's a lot. So, like, it took me, like, 1 evening to make, like, the 4 bottom pieces and then, like, 1 pie. And then, like so I think I can, like, finish all of this pretty quickly. I've been pretty focused on the socks. Um, because 'cause I'm kind of, like, at a point where I'm like, "Okay, like, 1 evening for both pies, and then make 2 stars, and then seam everything." But the kinda decision point I'm at right now is with the eyes. So these are just safety eyes. They're, like, I think 12 millimeter.
Mhm.
Um, and, nobody that I'm gifting these to has children, so, I did get the safety eyes, but I kind of don't like the way that, like, there's sort of just a dimple around the safety eye, like, where it goes in, and I don't know if I like that. Plus, I have to get black embroidery thread for the mouth anyways, they're supposed to have a little smile. So I might just try embroidering the eyes on like another star and then see how that looks. Um, and go from there. So that's kind of the decision I need to make just to finish all of this up. So and then I'm going to use up a lot of my yarn ends as stuffing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really excited to be able to like get sort of a lot of those out of my stash. Um, but yeah, so those are my mini mince pies.
They're so cute.
And I'm really
Yeah.
excited.
I was looking back because I have some of my like amigurumi up here.
Mhm.
I personally like the look of safety eyes more than
Oh,
embroidered
okay.
eyes. I was looking back because I was trying to remember if I embroidered any. I don't have any embroidered eyes here, but my grub has like a crocheted magic circle
Mhm.
eye, which I think
Mhm.
looks good because it's like a bigger eye.
Yeah.
But I love the safety eyes. I'm
Yeah.
like on
They're
camera, I'm not really
cute.
seeing the dimple,
Okay.
but I can imagine what that is. Probably because you have to put it through the two layers of the fabric,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
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 But I'm excited to see what the embroidered eyes looks like. Because it
Yeah.
could be really cute for the pie, and then
Yeah.
yeah, without the dimple and everything.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I have like I haven't been working on this also. I guess yeah, I've been working on the socks and my stripe pipe because I really would love to get that done by the end of the year. And I feel like with these, I'm sort of like, if I'm knitting them on Christmas Eve frantically, like that's fine. You know, like they don't need the block. Like
Yeah.
I've made each of the pieces. I've sort of troubleshooted, like the things that I need to troubleshoot. I think so. I'm feeling pretty good about these. But yeah, and I'm glad also I was able to make the baby bear bonnet with that yarn because the you really don't use very much of the contrast color at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was nice to use a little bit more of that up, but then I will have like a bit of this Lion Brand color theory left over. Oh yeah, and this is like a worsted weight. It says medium, uh,
Mm,
but it's like 246 yards for 100 grams. So like I kind of like I think it's DK, but it says worsted. The pattern calls
mm,
for DK, and
hmm.
I knit these to pattern, and I'm getting the same circumference. So
Yeah, I think
I
I
also
don't
just have a
know. I
tight
don't know what
gauge.
acrylic
Yeah,
like weight ratio is.
I
So
guess that's true. Yeah. Um. Yeah, those are all my whips.
yay,
Yay!
cute.
Hopefully, a lot of them will be finished very soon.
Yes.
Like I feel like I'm close to the finish line.
You have all your gift knits. I
Yes.
don't have any gift knits planned for this year, but I think because I like I took a break last year from gift knits, but then I ended up
Yeah.
making like three fingerless
Yeah.
mittens.
Yeah.
And then this year I also wasn't planning on making anything, so we'll see if I change that.
Yeah.
But I
I
think
was not
next
planning
year,
on
yeah, I might. I think maybe next year I'll gift knit again. I don't know. I just like wanted to take a break and like
Yeah,
focus on
for
making
sure,
things
for
for
sure.
myself.
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
so valid.
but I don't know. We'll see. It is fun to make things for other people.
It is
So
fun, yeah, and I think these will are, like, really delightful. Like,
mhm.
I saw the pattern and I was like, "I have to do
Yeah,
this
this
because
is
we have
so
mince
cute.
pies every Christmas, like,
Yeah.
with James's family, so I think they're just gonna be really cute. Um,
Love it.
yeah. Okay, do you wanna do a quick break before we do
Yes,
acquisition? I
acquisition.
have to pee.
I am gonna eat some chocolate.
Okay,
Okay,
have a good
BRB.
break. BRB chat. Do I have, like, a BRB text?
I don't.
Okay, BRB. Good
Perfect
timing.
timing.
We planned
Totally.
that.
Seeing you both walk
Oh,
away was so cozy somehow. We are both in like very cozy
yes,
knitwear, you
yes.
know, so.
Sorry, it just oh no. Okay. I unplugged my headphones.
Oh, acquisition time. I was so tame. I'm so
Okay.
proud of myself in this quarter.
You did great. I also love to acquire. It's so nice. So fun.
I know. Acquiring is so great.
Sorry, I had to like slide my acquisitions towards me and then I unplugged my headphones
It
accidentally.
happens.
um, how should we do this?
I think you should just go.
Right. Okay, so oh, acquisitions. So we talked about my scrappy sweater project, and then I recently started the socks with the Zobber ball. So like sort of over the past few months, I was looking at my like collection of sock skeins, and I was like, I actually don't really have that much sock yarn. Like I think I have two maybe left that I like hadn't touched, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
I need more
wow.
sock yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've been making socks. So, first was EKF's in stock update,
Oh,
Explore Knits and Fibers, and so I got a skein of ooh, blown out. Okay, there we go.
yeah.
Denali
Oh,
sock in the color Smog, which is so pretty. It's
so
like
cute.
this very variegated gray. I do feel like it has some blush tones in it.
I think it does.
It's really nice. Like I'm happy with this. And so my vision for this is I'm going to make some varsity striped socks. And hopefully I'll get two pairs. So I want to use for my like stripe some of my minis, which also are from EKF. So they're kind of looking not the right colors. This is like in my neon era. So it's like a very neon
Oh, I
pink.
thought that was red. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it looks very red right now, but this is neon pink. This one is
Pepperoncini?
ooh, pepperoncini. Yes, thank you. Um, Chris Nowhere
I
EKF
know.
colors. I know this is gum wall. It's like a
Hmm.
gummy
It's
pink
showing like orange.
pastel. Oh gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. And then this is balsamico. And then the blue is like maybe from the Seattle collection, right? Do you
Puget
remember?
Sound. So from my camera, it looks like Puget Sound, and it honestly, like from what it's showing on camera, the purple is looking more like squib than it looks like balsamico. But I'm sure that it
Oh,
looks different in person. Just what
yeah.
it's showing on screen here.
I
I
think
know you can't have colors way too much. It's pretty bad. But I know you like messaged the colors to
yeah, I
me.
think I had sent a
Yeah,
photo
I
and
think
like
we were like, yeah, it's probably balsamico.
yeah, this is looking a lot more gray in this in
Yeah.
the camera. It's like yeah. So I'm hoping to have like mainly like one of them I know I want to be like two neon pink stripes and then the other one I can't decide if I just want to do the same thing and do two neon yellow stripes or if I want to do like a neon stripe, a blue stripe and then another neon stripe.
Oh, that would be
Like
cute.
yeah. So anyways, those
Oh,
incoming
so
socks.
cute.
And then my friend Chris was telling me about Craft Me Not Yarn Co.'s Zelda collection. Um and so I had looked at the Zelda collection several times and I was being good. I didn't buy anything. And then their like leftovers from it went on sale. So it was like every Thursday, they were going to go 10% more on sale until they were sold out. So, I think I got each of these, like, 30% off, so I, like, waited a few weeks. And I was just kinda, like, checking in on what was in stock still. So, I got 3 colors, and these are all from the Zelda collection. Mayo.
Cameo.
So this one is Necluda C, and it's,
Ooh.
like, so pretty. It's this really dark teal color. This one is Cherry Blossom. Oops.
Oh, cute.
And then this one is Swift Violet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So they're just, like, such nice colors. I feel like they also coordinate pretty well with, like, my EKF yarn.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we'll see. I don't think I have plans for these 2 yet. This one, I would like to make the wood smoke sock, um, by, I think, This Handmade House or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Yeah, they're like a cabled sock, but it's like a really elongated cable, and they're, like, so
Mm,
pretty. I think it'll be really pretty in this yarn. So I'm so excited. So, yeah, this was all on sale.
love that. 30% off. Incredible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is, like, the beginning group of my, like, sock acquisition. Um, and so then, my husband and I took a little weekend trip, um, a few I guess, like, a month ago for our 2-year wedding anniversary, which is crazy.
Yay.
And so we drove down to Solvang, which is, like, north of Santa Barbara. On our way back up, I had seen this, like, tiny town that had a yarn shop. And I was like, "I wanna go to this yarn shop." It was on the way. So, it's called the Old Orcut Yarnery. And it was, like, such a cute yarn shop. They have, Looka needles, like, the
Mm.
individuals. And I was like,
Ooh.
yeah, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, and they had, like, so much yarn. They had, like, vintage buttons, like, it was, like, and they were having, like, a knitting, like, crafting time when I was there, so, like,
Oh,
the shop was, like, full of people, and they were like, "Hi," and I was like, "I should have brought
that's
my
so
knitting." Like,
cute.
yeah, it was adorable, and I was like, "I why don't I live closer to these yarn shops?" So, um and they had a good selection too, but so they have their own line of sock yarns, hand-dyed sock yarns. So I asked James
Oh, I
which
love
color he
it.
would like. Yeah, this
What
is
a great
called
eye, James.
well, I mean, I think I gave him a few options, and then he was like, "Yeah, sure." But this is called Space Force. Because I think, like, Point Loma is, like, nearby, and that's where, like, the Space
Mm.
Force is or something. So this is 80/20 merino nylon. Interestingly, this is 387 yards per 100
Hmm.
grams. So I don't know. I guess maybe it's a little thicker, but, like, or maybe it's just like we're used to the same sort of sock base across indie dyers or something. But yeah, it's quite soft. So I picked up this, and then the other thing I picked up, I'm so excited about. So I saw this, I wasn't planning on buying any yarn. I saw this yarn and I was like, this is, I wonder if you can guess what project I am going to use this for.
Wait, I don't. Do I?
You might. I feel like when I say it, you're gonna be like, oh my god.
Is this for pressed flowers? Or
No.
no? No, it's for.
The
Oh, wait. No, just tell me.
it's for the oat camisole.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's this pattern called the oat
Oh.
camisole.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So the pattern uses gepard yarn, like cotton waves or something, and it's this, like, very schlubby cotton. This is Eco Butterfly Organics, and I couldn't find like, I found the company on Ravelry, but I didn't find this specific yarn. But it's handcrafted Andean Mist Sport Flam yarn, organic cotton, unmercerized, botanical colors, and color-grown shades. So this is 130 yards per 50 grams, and it's the colorway Sage. So I think it's a little
Oh.
thinner.
Wait, so it's probably
It's
dyed with sage.
I think so, yeah, because
Oh,
it
that's
is
so
coming up, like,
cool.
true to color
Mhm.
on camera, like, it's not like a sage green at all. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really soft. Yeah, I saw it and I was like, "That's literally perfect." So, um, I got 8 8 skeins of this, and I am hoping to make the oat camisole, which is like a textured camisole. Um, and I hope, because I think yeah, I think the gapard yarn is, worsted, and this is, like, DK-ish, but it
Okay.
is very, like, textured so that I think
Mhm.
the weight is maybe not consistent, so, like, I mean, I'll definitely swatch, but I might have to do some, like, shenanigans with the sizing and everything. But so yeah, this was from that same yarn store, Old Orchid Yarnery, and so if you're in the Central Coast area ever, I recommend stopping by because it was really cute.
So cute. Oh my gosh. I don't think that's south enough for me because I'm gonna be in LA and driving out of San Diego.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
north from yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
for
which I'm trying to
sure.
decide if I should go yarn because I know there's like a yarn store in San Diego.
Apricot yarn.
Yeah, that like people talk all the time about.
Yes, that's where I got this yarn, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so I guess we'll see where San Diego brings me. I think I won't seek out yarn in LA because
Okay,
I think that would be
yeah,
more difficult because LA and with traffic.
yeah,
The San Diego, I think perhaps.
yeah.
But I'm also
I
there. I don't know if they're gonna be open when I'm there. So I don't we'll see.
oh, yeah, yeah. I was there in San Diego when it was, like, pouring rain and flash flood warnings, and they were
Oh.
open, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, I will
yeah,
be in LA. I can message you, but I also don't.
LA is
LA is,
huge.
yeah, difficult. I always get really stressed trying to meet up with people in LA. I do have a little bit more freedom this time because I am renting a car, but I'm also sharing said rented car. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll see. I will message you.
Um, yeah, I really liked apricot yarns. They have a lot of West Yorkshire spinners, they have Rosa Pomar, they have a good selection of like local yarns as well. Um, and they were like very helpful. I mean, I've never been to a yarn store where people weren't helpful.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I love when like they're like, "Oh, what are you thinking of making?" And then you're like, "Oh, I was thinking about this pattern." And then they like pull it up and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's so cute." And you're like, "I know."
Yeah.
So, yeah. Um Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So that'll be a summer cast on. And then this is so when I had to buy another skein of my West Yorkshire Spinners Pure DK, I was browsing around. I got it from Lovecraft.
Oh yeah.
And I had also been looking for um a what even is this? I was looking for like a cotton blend, um, similar to like oh gosh, hold on, I'll tell you what it's similar to.
Mayo, you're correct. I have never met up with you in LA. What a great fact.
Okay, Mayflower Amalfi is the suggested yarn for this project,
Oh.
which is yeah, 52% cotton, 48% manufactured fibers, rayon from bamboo.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds really familiar.
yeah, so I was looking for that, but I couldn't like find any retailers, I guess. Maybe I didn't look hard enough, but I was sort of looking for a substitute, so I ended up finding Barocco Modern Cotton DK.
Ooh.
And this is 60% Pima cotton, 40% rayon. So similar. And the color is called coffee milk. And so it's like this sort of it's coming up paler on camera, but it's like sort of this goldeny, like not orange, but like definitely not brown,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
like sort of in between. So it's like darker than my skin tone for sure. I don't know. I'm unsure if this color will suit me, but I kind of wanted to get out of my comfort zone, I guess. And I liked it when I saw it. So, but if it doesn't work out, I will dye the garment black,
Yes.
probably. So, I am going to make the rose ruffle top by Mippy the Label.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like a cute, again, like another like tank, but it has a peplum option and a baby doll option. And it's funny because I do feel like I love a baby doll because that was my Sheltie that I made last
Oh
summer
yeah.
with the, like, yeah, but I love it. So, I think it's really cute. I've been wanting to make it for a while, and I think that this color also suits, like, the pattern because it's sort of, like, faded, kind of, like,
Mm.
antique color.
Mhm.
So I think but yeah, if it doesn't end up looking good on me, I will dye it black, and that'll be that. So but yeah, so I got this and my West Yorkshire spinners, like my single ball of that. And I think maybe this qualified me for free shipping or something.
Ooh, love that.
So like
It's
it made
free.
sense. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. We're maybe halfway through.
Okay, I can talk a little
Yeah.
bit
Do you want to
about stuff
Yeah.
to give you a
Okay.
little breathing break.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
before that,
dwarf.
hi Dor.
Oh my gosh, hi. Dwarf, Torny, Artsy, and Raiders. Welcome in. How's it going? I'm Oat. I use she, her pronouns. Me and Chris are doing a little yarn podcast. Oh my gosh, Artsy. Thank you for 38 months. How's it going?
Oh,
Nice
arrived.
to see you. I hope stream was good. I hope Power Wash Sim was good. We're doing a little quarterly knitting roundup. We do this quarterly. So we're talking about things we've made, including both of the things that we're wearing and various projects. We're at the part now where we talk about all the yarn that we purchased in the last quarter. So, yeah. Hi, Dudley.
Yes. So the first, I'll just talk about two. Yeah, I'll talk about two right now. I have three total. But the first one is just what we were just talking about, the looming pullover. I guess I'll talk about it again because I have these two extra skeins and they look cute. Um,
They are
but
cute.
yeah, I don't know. 20% off knitting for
Yeah.
Olive was pretty great. I think I got 7 skeins of the main color and 2 skeins of the contrast color. Um, and I only have 1 skein left of the contrast, but all I have left is this sleeve colorwork, so I think it should be okay. Again, I don't know if it's just like a Starry Nordland thing, but a lot of the Ravelry projects said that they ran out of yarn. So I
Oh,
did get, I think, 1 extra ball than what size 3 says for main color.
okay.
Um, but the pattern is in Cascade 220, so by ball I mean like yardage. I think it was like
Hmm.
almost perfectly for 6 or something. I don't know, but I think yeah, I think I got 1 extra or something like that. But also if I run out of yarn, I'm not too worried about it because Knitting for Olive is pretty readily available, and even if
Yeah.
it's different dye lots, I think it'll be okay. So that's gonna be one acquisition I talk about. And then I'll talk about my second one, which was a gift. This is a DK weight
Ooh.
Stellina skein,
Wow.
which my cousin gifted me when he was on Whidbey Island, which was super nice. It's from Enchanted Beetle on Whidbey.
Oh my gosh.
And it's DK weight. I don't know. This thing like fell off. It's DK weight, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. And in the colorway called bamboo. So yeah, I'm
It's so
excited.
cute.
I think I was thinking maybe like mittens would be cute with this one. or DK weight socks because it does have that nylon
Mm,
in it. For the things
true.
I was thinking of. Um, but I don't know, we'll see. It's also reminding me that I have Stellina yarn from Sorella, both
Oh.
DK weight and fingering weight, and I should do something with it. So those are gonna be the two that I talk about, and then I have one more left, which I can talk about after you go.
Cool. Um, so I mean, I did this chronologically, but I feel like I got this yarn so recently. So I think because after Flock, I had been on a yarn ban, right? And then I was like, well, I actually don't really have very much sock yarn around. So I got all that sock yarn, and then we went on that trip. And then I think kind of the floodgates just sort of opened from there. And I was like, yes, I'm going to purchase yarn. So, the next thing I did, I guess, was I made an order from Mother Knitter and um well, I guess this happened because I was going to buy yarn for a Moby sweater for Jane. And Mother Knitter has Santa's Garn. Um oof. So I bought 16 balls of pure gin.
Oh, it's such a good color.
Yes. So this is blue gray heather. And so while I was on Mother Knitter, I was like, well, if like I'm buying so much Pure Gint that I should just like figure out if I can get a Santa's Yarn catalog because you have to buy the yarn to get the catalog and then you get a bunch of patterns and it's like nice. So to get a catalog, which I did get and I'll show you, um, I picked up 5 balls of tin silk mohair.
Cute.
This is the color Deep Marine. So it's like a very dark blue. It's very soft. I haven't used Anascarn's mohair before, but I do really like how it feels in the ball. And so I was able to get a pattern
Yeah.
catalog,
Which one is
which
that?
I love this. This is 2302 DIY.
Okay. From
Um,
last year.
yeah. So, and it had the pattern on the cover I really like.
So pretty.
Um, because it's like you can wear it how it had on the front, but then you can also wear it like with the ties in the back.
That's so
Yeah. Yeah.
cute.
And it's 2 strands of mohair
Really?
held together. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I'm pretty sure. This it's called the Vienna.
Oh wow. That's so pretty.
Yeah, so I really like it. I really like it in this color as well. But yeah, it's 2 strands of tin silk mohair held together. But there are a lot of other like really cool patterns in this one. There's like this stripy cardigan, the
Ooh.
brook. Um, there's I think this is just a different version of it, but in the brushed alpaca,
Mm.
which is like a really fluffy yarn that's nice. There is this like long zipper sweater, and then there's this one, which I think is also pretty like known, the
Oh, I've
Abbey.
seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's super nice.
So yeah, this one is cute. And then I think I want to say there was one more. I mean any of these I could make and then make, you know, modify it or whatever,
Mm.
but there's this like long cabled cardigan.
Hmm.
So I'm most excited about this pattern, I think, and I have to figure out what yarn I want to use. Because it is a lot of mohair, but I think that's like so pretty and I'm like really excited. So um and then the last thing when I was looking on Mother Knitter and like figuring all of that out is they had Lamana Como on sale. And I had been looking for that yarn for forever because I wanted to make the scope scarf, which is this like really graphic, like sort of color blocked, like um sort of not lino print, but like it has a lot of like lines and like angles and it's double knit in like two contrasting colors, so you get like a really cool effect. Um so I got 4 balls each of 2 different colors. So this is called Mittelblau, and
Cute.
it's like a navy blue. And then this is called Crocus. It's not gray, it is like a light purple. Um, so I think that they have enough contrast, and I
Mhm.
think like it'll be like colorful enough, but also like subtle enough for like an outerwear piece or like an accessory. Which I'm happy about. And so I ended up choosing these colors because they were the only colors left with like 4 like 4 skeins available. But I think it worked out because I was like agonizing over what colors to do. Because I feel like if you're trying to get 2 colors that are contrasted enough for color work, but then it's very easy to like get into like and with the colors available and everything in the Como yarn, like just every color combination I was like coming up with, I was like, that's a Harry Potter like
Oh.
and I was like, I'm not trying to make like a Harry Potter scarf.
Yeah.
So the original sample is pink and green, which I do think is really cute, but these are more like my colors. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I don't know when I'll cast this on because I have several other neck accessories in the queue, like that are higher priority, including the other cargo cowl for my
Mhm.
friend, so whose birthday is in February. Um, so who knows? Also, I'm a little intimidated about the double knitting color work. Because
Yeah,
you
I
have
don't
to
know
like
how that
hold 2
works.
strands at the same time, and
Mm.
there's like understanding color dominance and all of that. So we'll see when this happens. But yes. Um yeah. So that was my mother knitter order. It feels like a lot of yarn because of the 16 balls of Peerkin. It's a lot, but you know, anyways.
That's
That
okay.
was that. And then I only have 3 more things
I
if
can
you
talk
wanna do
about
your next
my
one.
other acquisition
Yeah.
real quick. So I did order more yarn. Again, like I said earlier this episode, I did order from EKF's Leave No Trace and it shipped today. So I guess
Oh,
it'll be
exciting.
in the next podcast. But I also ordered from EKF's Farmers Market collection
Ooh.
pre-order.
Oh my gosh.
And so, a little backstory on the farmers market collection. They had sample skeins of most of the colors at Flock. So we were
Mhm.
both at Flock, and we were able to see these colors in person, and oh, so pretty. They
Yeah.
brought DK, Sock, and Surrey um, as like sample skeins. Maybe one other, maybe Cashmere or something. I don't remember.
Mhm.
Um, but I loved so many of the colors, and it was really hard to narrow down because I was like, I don't need yarn. Like I think I wanted like
Yeah.
a boucle sweater quantity there, and then I was
Oh,
like, maybe I'll
yeah.
get like the because the Surrey on like that's my jam or whatever, that purple variegated
Uh-huh.
color. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so bright. It was so pretty, but I
Yeah.
was like, okay, calm down. And then EKF revealed a new base, which I was like, what? Okay. And I bought it. So
Yay.
here it is. So the new base is called Linen Sock. And it's 80%
Ooh.
non-superwash merino, 20% linen, 437 yards for 100 grams. So 80% merino, 20% linen, non-superwash. And
Wow.
supposedly they're like the first like dyers to be able to get the base from the suppliers or whatever. Anyway, I
Mhm.
love me a plant fiber based like blend
Yeah,
yarn. So I was
for
like,
sure.
okay, I have to try it. And I was a little nervous because I love, so this isn't catch of the day.
Mhm.
and I loved this color on sock, and I loved it on boucle, and I loved it even. No, I think I liked the boucle the most, and then I liked it a lot on the earthy.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, I hope that it looks good on the non-superwash and linen. And she like posted a picture, and I was like, okay, I like it enough from this picture to buy it. um, and so actually, when I got the shipping notification for this, which was probably like a week before Black Friday, actually, because I think I got this yarn like literally last week. So maybe yeah, like a week before Thanksgiving ish. And I've been spending a lot of money, not on yarn, just like on other things. And so I
Mhm.
got the shipping notification, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have bought this. So I was like, oh, like there have been so many packages coming to my house. I'm gonna have so many
Yeah.
future packages. Like, oh gosh, did I really need to order this yarn? It arrived, and I was like, oh my god, I love the color. So in the
Yeah, it's
picture that EKF
good.
posted, maybe it's because it was like paired with all the other tonals from the collection.
Mhm.
It looked a
Mhm.
lot like more gray.
Yeah.
Even this color is a blue. Just on the
Yeah,
non-super
yeah.
wash bases, it dyes a little bit more like purpley gray. I think
Cool.
I don't, it changes a little bit, but this is showing pretty true to what I see. Maybe it's a little less purple than what it's
Okay.
showing on camera, but it's like really dark. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I love how this turned out like in person. It's so
Yeah.
gorgeous. And it is so soft. I like if you told me there was linen in this, I wouldn't know, except for the fact that it has like some of those like little linen fluffy
Yeah.
things in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know how this will be in terms of cooling because linen is supposedly, like a more cool
Uh-huh.
um yeah, like
Yeah. With
fiber,
the
but it has
merino,
the
that's
80% merino,
interesting.
and this merino
Yeah.
feels like a very like plush, like nice merino.
Ooh.
I don't know. I love it. um like I love whenever I
Wow.
receive yarn, but it's not often that I receive it and it like blows my expectations out of the water. Is that a correct
Yeah.
phrase? I don't know
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
look at so many pictures. Um and yeah, I don't know. This one, wow, I love it. I'm so excited to work with it. It's gonna be so nice. Like this base is so soft, and it's not super wash merino too. So I guess it's just like
Yeah.
a low micron count or whatever. I don't know. It's so nice.
Yeah, that looks really
um,
nice.
really happy about this. So thank you, past me, for ordering this.
Yay. Go past Chris. That's funny. Um, do you have any plans for that potential that you're thinking
um,
about?
no. It's gonna be some
We'll figure
summer
it out
thing.
in the
Yeah.
summer, yeah.
I think I
Probably a
didn't
top
yeah,
though.
it's gonna be a
Yeah.
top. Either I'm gonna have to look through my text to see if I had a plan because I'm pretty sure I didn't have a plan.
Mhm.
But it might have been like an oolong tank or something. Like one of the tanks
Oh.
that takes more than one skein of fingering
Yeah.
weight, or a t-shirt. But I think maybe an oolong tank. But we'll see. Plans could change.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. I know I, like, say all my plans for these, and I'm like, "We'll see if that happens," but that's what I'm thinking right now. Okay, so last thing I mentioned I'm going to make my friend a cargill cowl, so I needed, yarn for that, and I was looking for another cashmere, but, like so I got that yarn, like, 30% off or something, and I was looking at cashmere is expensive, so I was kinda like, "Hmm." So I ended up finding, Knit Picks Capra,
Ooh.
which is a cashmere blend. It is very soft. It's, I think, 85% merino, 15% cashmere. And so it's pretty soft. Like, I think it would be, I don't know. I do feel like the Lamana Como is like fine, like softer to the touch, like at least in the ball.
Mm.
But I think it will be soft enough. This is the color Spice. So my friend has like a darker complexion than me and like is like higher contrast in her features. So I think this will be like a good orange and it's like so it's kind of more I wish it was a little more of a burnt orange because I feel like that's sort of more neutral, like a rusty
Hmm.
color. This is a little brighter than I wanted, but I think it'll be nice. I hope she likes it. I kinda took a gamble on the color, I feel like. Um, so I got 3 balls of this, and they're 50-gram balls, and so based on the yarn that I used for mine, are they 50 grams? Am I lying? They're probably 50 grams. I'm pretty sure. Did I buy too much yarn? I might have bought too much yarn. Yeah, so these are 50-gram balls. The Cashmere DK, those are 55-gram skein. I bought too much yarn. Well, I bought 3 balls because I was thinking I need a skein and a half, right? And I was sort of assuming that the one hank had been 100 grams,
Mm.
but it was 55 grams. So, anyways, I guess I will have to, well, maybe I can see if I can return one of them or I'll just have like a little scarf or something. I don't know. But I was planning on making this one longer. That pebble.
Hmm. I hope she doesn't pull my yarn all the way down the stairs.
Pebbles.
Hmm.
Oh gosh. I'm almost done. So I am planning on making it a little taller because I do like I more want her to be able to like pull it over her face when she's like going to work in the morning.
Right.
That's kind of why I was like making her like a neck accessory because she's told me her face gets really cold. So I was like, this will be perfect. So yeah, so I'll make it a little taller. So maybe I didn't overbuy yarn, but we'll find out. So but yeah, so I got 3 balls of this. And then the last thing, or well, the second to last thing, I had been looking for like, or once I got this tin silk mohair, I was kind of like, okay, now I get to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. And like, I just love like looking at projects and like figuring it out, you know. So, um, the thing that I had in my queue, or not in my queue, but in my favorites that I really wanted to make is the plain yoke blouse solo from Lanit. So it's just like a round yoke
Ooh. Uh-huh.
blouse, sort of similar to the cloud blouse from Petite Knit,
Hmm.
but this is a round yoke. Um, and I had wanted to make the plain yoke tee, which was like a summer pattern from Lanit, but I like don't have the yarn for it, and I like didn't get around to it in the summer. So then I was like, oh, maybe I can just make the plain yoke blouse, and then that'll be like cool. So um, I was looking for alternatives and I was looking at the yarn because, like, the yarn listing on the plain yoke blouse is kind of weird, but it gives you like 3 different like yarn combinations. But like, there's nothing in the suggested yarn section at the top, but just further down. So, one of the
Hmm.
things it says is you can use tin silk mohair with alpaca fulgitra, I think, or
Okay.
fulitra, something
Uh-huh.
like that. It's like FO with slash LGETRA with the circle on top, D. So, and it's the lace weight alpaca, 100% alpaca from Sandisgarn.
Oh, I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, apparently they do.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and that was one of the yarn combinations in one of the samples for the plain
Hmm.
yoke blouse. So I was looking for a lace weight alpaca. And I came across Knit Picks Alpaca
Oh
Cloud.
my God.
Yeah, so this is 100% baby alpaca. The meterage is very similar to the Sandisgarn one, and this color is Darcy, and
Aw.
it is listed as like a dark sapphire blue,
Hmm.
but I'm like Sandis or Knit Picks, this is navy blue, like please.
Yeah.
So, I will hold these
Yeah, no, they look good
together.
together.
Yeah, for the plain yoke blouse. And I'm like kind of actually anxious to cast that on. But I'm supposed to start my book club cardigan.
I know, literally same. I'm like, oh, I'm like so excited for all these projects, and I'm like, wait, but the book
I
club cardigan.
know. I know. Yeah.
Ugh.
So, which like I really would like to finish up both my Agnete and my stripe hype before I start the book club cardigan or any other garment. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, I have to finish them. So, but I really hope I can cast this on soon because I think it would be so pretty and like fun to work up. And both these yarns are so soft, and I'm excited.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so that is my final yarn acquisition. I did also acquire, actually, when I was like planning to start my book club cardigan, I
I'm streaming.
acquired.
No, I know. So basically, when Pebbles jumped off the bed because my roommate got home, she knocked over a ball of yarn off my bed, and it's rolled down the stairs and is in the living room apparently. So
Oh my god,
amazing.
Pebbles. That's so funny. Well, yeah, this is my just my last thing. I got this yarn
Oh yeah, I
holder
forgot you got
from
that.
Etsy. Yeah. So I was looking for one because yeah, we were talking about starting the book club cardigan, and I wanted to have like I have my mini minder, but I didn't know what I was going to do about like having two balls going at the same time because I'm holding two strands for the book club cardigan. So and I was looking online and a lot of the like wooden yarn holders are like twice the price of whatever this ended up being. I think
Hmm.
they're like $100 for like a solid wood one. So I found this on Etsy. It's like a 3D printing place and they do these like double yarn holders. These like spin. I
Ooh.
did start and then frog my book club cardigan and I used this when I was working on it and it was really nice. So I'm glad I got this. The thing that I don't know now is that I have to alternate skeins, and so I'm like, will
Mm.
I just sort of stack them on here? So we'll have to figure that out, but, I'm happy with this, and yeah, it was, like, I think $50, or if the wooden ones are $50, then this was, like, $25 or something like that,
Like
you know what I mean?
half-ish the price.
Yeah, so, I think it was, like, good to get this from Etsy, but the wooden ones do look really nice. Pure toe!
Hi,
Thanks
Bjerto.
for 36 months. Oh my god, I thought
Wow.
I missed it. We're definitely not at the end.
Yeah, definitely
We would never be ending
ending. Definitely did not just talk about the last
ending
acquisition
soon.
of the year, except not
Well,
really.
there's yarn in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
You can just throw it on the ground. Was
Oh
that
my
you,
god.
Pebbles?
Pebbles.
Yeah. So
That's
confused.
so
Follow the
funny.
trail.
Oh, I love Pebbles. Uh, but yeah, I have two yarn orders, like, that I have ordered, and then I have my theoretical knitting for Olive order that I've been stressing about
Oh
for, like,
yeah.
5 years because I was like, "Do I wanna add that much yarn to my stash?" And then I added this much yarn to my stash while I was thinking about that, so, um
Wait, what week? It's weekly sales, right?
yes, yeah, so, yeah, I'm glad I waited because Knitting for Olive is doing a weekly advent sale, and it, like, never goes on sale, so it's been 15% off. So the first week was the soft silk mohair. The second week was soft silk mohair and no waste wool,
Ooh.
which is their, like,
Yeah, it's
eco
like 50%
recycled.
recycled wool,
Yeah.
50% normal wool, yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they do heavy merino one of the weeks, and if the other things are still on sale, that would be awesome. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like I just have to, like wait and see. And then but hopefully if they don't do that, then I could just pick up some like cuz I it seems like it's cumulative, I guess. So it seems like probably the third week there will be like a new thing, no
Mhm.
waste wool and soft silk mohair. So if I end up just like I don't know, because I was going to get some yarn for a cumulus blouse, but then I ended up getting some silk mohair from an indie
Instagram.
dyer,
Oh,
n for
oh,
a cumulus blouse. That's yarn in the mail, so it
do
doesn't
I know
come out
about
for
this
this quarter.
one?
I don't think you know about
Hmm.
this. Um, I'll tell you next year.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, I could tell you. I've been obsessed with Woolly Mammoth Fiber Co. for forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love her vibe. I love that she grows all of the dyeing plants in her
Mhm.
garden, dyes all the yarn. She gets like local Irish yarn from like different breeds that are really cool. And so she recently introduced a silk mohair into her shop.
Mm.
And also then dyed it in these, like, gorgeous shades of deep blue.
Ooh.
So, I got 4, skeins of the silk mohair in the color Midnight Oil, which is,
Cute.
like, a
Okay.
really, like, deep like, it's low key, it's the color of my Agnete cardigan.
It's
But in
fine.
silk mohair. But it's so beautiful. I'm really excited. Um, so yeah, so that was that. And then I also asked for a woolly mammoth fiber card for Christmas. So
Love that.
more yarn to come. But yeah, I've like really been obsessed with like all of her stuff. So big fan. So I'm like cuz I it sold out. I wasn't going to get any and then it sold out. And then I like recently have been back on Instagram and like the other morning I was like scrolling and then I saw her post 2 minutes ago. The shop had been updated with more silk mohair and
Oh,
I was like so I was like
yeah.
I have
You
to get
gotta
it.
grab it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, Q4.
Q4, a
Yay.
full year.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, we were thinking about doing our like everything we knit in 2024, sometime at the beginning of next year. I'm really hoping I'll have a few more garments finished
Yeah.
before the end of the year.
At least one sweater
I'm
completed.
so close.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Meet our
Agnete. If I can
backlog.
finish my Agnete cardigan, meet our backlog. So true. Um, yeah, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. And then I would love to be able to cast on my book club cardigan before the end of the year, but I'm at this
Yeah.
point I'm like it might have to wait until my gift knitting is done because I do really want to be able to like focus on that
Mhm.
and like well, and in the future not have 6 whips at the same time. I don't think it's good for me. um so yeah, I want to like get things done and then start new things. And then next year I won't buy any yarn at all. And so it'll be okay that I bought so much yarn this year. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. So I guess I can. Yeah. I have a lot of like
Mhm,
housekeeping things to do in terms of knitting. Like I haven't updated my Ravelry in like this entire year, and then I normally track my yarn in an Airtable
mhm.
spreadsheet, and I haven't updated it since the summer. So like my flock yarn and everything like isn't in the spreadsheet yet.
Yeah.
But in that spreadsheet, I do kind of keep track of yarn that I've like used and yarn that I've acquired this year. So my goal for this year, which I'm like 90% sure I did not succeed at, was to knit more yarn than I bought.
Yeah. Like a net negative thing.
Yeah, but that's okay. I do think like at least this trend, well, I don't know. It's also because I think a lot of dyers weren't releasing collections in the last quarter, which is
'Cause of
why I didn't
Advent.
yeah, which is why I didn't like
Yeah.
buy so much and acquire so much. So I guess we'll see cuz like January, February, like they're always releasing their new collection and it's like
Yeah.
always so good and I'm like, so I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. I wish I could knit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got like older yarn in my stash that really am like, I want to knit with this, but then I'm like, ooh, but Louis pullover and brand new
Yeah,
yarn, like
yeah,
yes, so it's
yeah.
like, ooh.
I know, yeah. I've like been trying to sort of think about like how to get re-excited about yarn that's like in my stash and like part of it I think is like yeah, project planning. Like
Mhm.
I do find that really exciting and like I love to look at patterns and like calculate, how much do I have? How much would I need? Like do I need to change my gauge? What did other people use? Like I love looking at all of that and like thinking about the possibilities. Um, but then it's like what sort of once the planning is done, then it becomes like now I've sort of committed to this mentally. And then it becomes stressful for some reason, like
Mhm.
that I have this commitment that I'm not meeting. And so I've been like, yeah, trying to sort of rethink my like that like switch from like exciting plan to stressful plan,
Mhm.
like and figure out how I can keep it as like exciting. And, you know, because yeah, it's my knitting hobby that I like and I do for fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see the stats next year. I mean, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to update my spreadsheet so I can get that info just for me personally. But
Yeah. That's a good idea. I'll try to have like, yeah, like weight used or yards used or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Or do you do like units, like 50-gram sort of
I
increments or something?
yeah, I have it as like this is one, but this is
Mhm.
also one. But
Okay.
this is 50 grams and this is 100 grams. So it's not
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
most accurate. I don't put yardage in my spreadsheet, but
Okay.
it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be completely accurate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, we will see you next year for
Yeah.
more knitting. It's exciting.
Wild.
It is wild, yeah.
Yeah, full year. I legit like I think somewhere it was like, oh, 2025. And I'm like, oh, that's so far away. Like this in the last 2 weeks. And then I'm like, wait, that's
Yeah.
next year.
No, it's like about to be 2025.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let us see who is live.
I think if Matcha's still alive, she was doing a charity stream
Oh,
tonight.
yes, her charity. Yeah, I think she's still live doing
Yeah.
Galatro.
Nice.
Let's go over there.
Yay.
I believe Macho is raising money for Trans Lifeline, and has giveaways and stuff like that for people who donate, or like not for everybody, but you get entered in. I assume I don't,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah. So let's head on over
Yeah,
there. Slash Ray.
I did it. We both have Discords. You're welcome to join. Um, oh, we could do a big, what is it? Big cat.
Um,
Oh, sorry. For the it's like the round
oh, the
spinning
rolling in
emote
one.
for the raid
Okay.
message.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm
that's what I
down.
was
I don't
thinking about.
have the emote because I don't have 7TV. But I get the
Oh, I
vibe.
think I just don't have that in my chat, but it's BTTB
Oh,
in
oh, in
Matcha's
hers. Yeah, yeah,
chat.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or you
I
could
think I know
do
what emote.
big frog or
We can do big cat.
big korg even.
All the big.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, thanks for hanging, everyone. We'll be back next year. Um,
yeah.
thanks for a year of knitting.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I can't believe we did 4 podcasts and it's
I know.
1 year. That's crazy. Yeah.
Plus our special feature flock, except for that one bod got deleted. So really, there's only 4. Anyway, your raid countdown's going down. So
Bye.
bye.
Ugh, GG.